The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg is the place to be. Join us every night to relax and enjoy football or basketball games featuring either the Martinsburg Bulldogs, Shepherd University Rams, or West Virginia Mountaineers. We will have steak night every Wednesday, trip nights every Thursday, and now taco and margarita nights every Tuesday. You can find us on Facebook or call 304-267-7520. The Palace Lounge is located at 1350 Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg.
We're the Skinner Brothers. Most folks only need a lawyer once or twice in their lives. And when they're injured or in an accident, most people don't know what to do. We get it. It can be overwhelming.
Nobody likes to be told you need a lawyer, but that's why we're here. We want to get you back to your normal life and help you recover.
So if you or a loved one has been in an accident, give us a call. Let us figure out how we can get you compensation.
Reach us at SkinnerWins.com or Google Skinner Lawyers. We'll treat you like family.
It's the new normal. You live, work, and play everywhere. Whether it's the family car or the family business, you need insurance that keeps pace with your changing life. Home on the job or working from home, peace of mind comes from knowing your whole world is covered. No matter what happens or how big it grows, whatever your new normal, Erie Insurance's award-winning service and personal agents can keep pace. Call your local agent today or visit erieinsurance.com for a quote.
It's time for the excitement of NCAA Division II football featuring the Shepherd Rams and the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. Today's coverage is brought to you by
Orsini's Home Store, Century 21 Modern Realty Results, Cody's Auto Body, The Palace Lounge, CMA Honda, the Berkeley County Health Department, Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers, Brown's Funeral Home and Cremations, Hagerstown Ford, the Mansion Ferretti Law Firm, the Mirius Group of Financial Advisors, Bodwell Insurance Solutions, W. Harley Miller Systems, Smallwood and Small Insurance Agency, CMA Chrysler Dodge, WVU East, the law firm of Burke Schultz Harmon and Jenkinson, RAI Properties, Parsons Ford, Rocks, John Hardy, Gary Kelly Allstate, and Panhandle Dumpsters.
Standing by is our TV10 broadcast team, so let's head to the field and get today's pregame show underway.
Good morning and welcome here to Seton Hill in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. Nick Verzolini alongside me, Travis Smith, as we get set for Shepherd Rams football. It's the season finale for the Rams, coming in at 5-5. Seton Hill enters the matchup at 3-7. It's the first matchup between these two teams since 2019. It's the Griffins and the Rams. And Travis, it's been a tough couple of weeks for Shepherd, trying to get back in the win column today to finish out the year strong and avoid their first losing season since 2003. So a lot on the line in terms of the history and the pride of this program.
Well, you have two teams that are kind of surprised to be in the position that they're in. Looking over at Seton Hill, they're coming off of a 6-5 campaign last year, 4-3 in the conference, and they were expecting to really take that next step this year, and the ball really hasn't bounced their way coming into today's game, like you already mentioned, at 3-7. And then you go over to Shepherd, starting out the year strong, stumbled a bit against Slippery Rock, but that's one of the top-notch teams that you're going to face here in the PSAC. But it kind of seemed like the team ran out of gas about midway through the season, and you can kind of trace it back to that second half of the Lockhaven game where they kind of lost their way a little bit on defense. The offense started to slow down. So, like you said, Shepherd in a position to try to, one, snap that 3-game losing skid, and you want to go into the offseason on a win. It always makes the season a little bit more palatable when you're able to end the season with a victory.
Coach McCook has several goals that he puts in place at the beginning of the year. One of those goals is to always win the last game you play. That's the last goal, really, that they can achieve this year. So we'll go ahead and take a 2-minute break. On the other side of that break, we'll hear from the head coach of the Shepherd University Rams, Ernie McCook. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%. Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
After a car accident, what do you get when you call Mansion Ferretti?
You get more experience from a local law firm with over 115 years of combined service.
More respect from a team who treats clients like their own family.
And more fight, because we want you to get every dollar you deserve.
Experience, respect, results. If you've been injured, that's what you want in your lawyer.
And that's what you'll get when you call us. Car accident? Get more with Mansion Ferretti. 304-264-8505.
W. Harley Miller Systems understands the need and desire for reliable and affordable smart home solutions. Secure your home with a security system and keep a close eye on your family. Automate your home with a Control4 system and have smart technology work as one. Set daily schedules to control your thermostats. Push a button and set the mood for dinner by dimming lights and playing music, or just sit back and enjoy a movie in your own home theater. Put decades of experience to work for you. Visit us at WHMsystems.com or call 304-350-1931.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How can I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm John Everson, Private Wealth Advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
Our coaches' interviews are brought to you by Parsons Ford, located at 1400 Shepherdstown Road in Martinsburg, or online at parsonsford.com. They became #1 by making you #1 first, Parsons. Here's Shepherd Rams head football coach Ernie McCook. Coach, 28-7 loss to East Stroudsburg. Just some takeaways from that game.
We knew they were a good team going into it. Knew we had to play well. We played pretty well defensively. Made some plays there we needed to make. We just never got into a rhythm offensively. We've got to continue to work at that, get better as we close out the season. But I thought East Stroudsburg was a good football team. They executed at a higher level than we did, and that's the difference in the ballgame.
You mentioned trying to get in a rhythm offensively. It seemed like at times you're able to get maybe a little bit of running game. Do you feel like just throughout the season maybe it's just been an issue to get an identity on offense?
100%. I feel like offensively we've been trying to get guys in the right spots and get certain guys the ball, and unfortunately we haven't been able to do it. We're not as consistent as we need to be. I think it comes with some of the injuries we've had, some of the inexperience that we do have. So those are all things that have kind of led to where we are right now. I think some of the fundamental things that we have let slip this season, taking care of the football, is a huge one. I think when I look back on it, I'm going to see that most of our negative games have come with too many turnovers.
Defense, what were some things that kind of stood out to you about their performance?
The defense has been very consistent all season long, trying to make teams one-dimensional. I think if you see any of the plays that happen, it's usually the big plays are in the pass game after we force them to throw the ball, and they've just made some 50-50 plays. I think overall defensively for this football season has been a really good year for us on defense. So we want to build off of that. We got a lot of guys back for next year, so I think this weekend is going to be really important for us to finish strong and kind of build off of the good things that have happened for us this year and learn from the mistakes and be a better football team in 25.
As you mentioned, still have one more game left, so season's not over. But just heading into the offseason, do you think that this season not going the way you guys planned will be an extra motivation for you next year?
I don't think there's any question about it. And this weekend's game is going to have a lot to say on how we go into the offseason. I think everybody realizes we're 5-5. We're playing for a winning season. And that's, this is a group of young men. Nobody in this football program as a player knows what it's like not to go to the playoffs. And I think what we're seeing is we've got a lot of guys understand how hard you have to work to be able to win. You don't realize how hard it is to win until you don't. And I think our team's seeing that, so I think we'll have a great motivation, great level of focus and energy going into the off season and building for next season. But this weekend's game is really important to us springboarding into what I think is what I'm hoping is a great off season.
Heading into this game, like you said, obviously you want to win because you want to have the winning season, but how much of this game is also an opportunity for you to evaluate some of those younger guys and see who wants to compete for next year?
That evaluation goes on all the time, practice, and when the young guys are playing, we want to make sure that, we have a lot of great seniors in this program, and we want them to feel what it's like to win a football game in their last game that they're going to play as Shepherd Rams. That's our number one priority, to win. And we're going to put the best players on the field that give us the opportunity to win. And when we have a chance for other guys to play and for them to be evaluated, we'll do that.
Coach, what stands out to you about Seton Hill this year?
I think they're really they're explosive on defense. They play a very different type of defensive system that I think is going to cause us, we're going to have to cause us some issues. We're going to have to great focus. We're going to have to make the ordinary play extraordinary. Offensively, they have a running back, might be the best running back in the PSAC. I think we'll have to shut him down, make him one-dimensional, and have to make more plays. We've got to play smart. We've got to create turnovers on defense, and we have to take care of the football on offense.
Just to kind of follow up on that, you mentioned their defense being a little bit different. What would you say is different about it?
They're very multiple in their fronts and what they do and how they play. They're not your traditional 4-2-5 defense or odd stack. They're going to do things that are going to give us different looks that we're going to have to be able to identify. And we're going to have to be in sync up front on the O-line, or we'll cut guys loose. They're going to be probably a lot of zone pressure, which I think are all things that we're going to have to handle. I think there's two types of pressure, either applying pressure or feeling pressure. So we're going to have to do things offensively to apply pressure on their defense. And I like the plan that we have in place, and I'm looking forward to executing it.
Our coaches' interviews are brought to you by Parsons Ford, located at 1400 Shepherdstown Road in Martinsburg, or online at parsonsford.com. They became number one by making you number one first, Parsons.
Drive More Days is back at Carter Myers Automotive. And this year, we'll keep you rolling with a $1,000 gas card. Visit any of our locations to take a test drive, and we'll enter you into a drawing to win a $1,000 gas card. With that kind of money, fill up at the pump for the rest of the year, completely on us. Stop in during Drive More Days for your chance to win a $1,000 gas card. Only at Carter Myers Automotive. Owners just care more.
I pre-planned my funeral to make it easier on my family. They were relieved to know I'll get just what I want.
My family actually thanked me for taking matters into my own hands. Turns out having this awkward conversation wasn't awkward at all.
Pre-planning is my choice. There are certain things about me my family may not know. Now they won't need to guess.
The choices are yours. The peace of mind is theirs. Pre-plan your funeral with Brown Funeral Homes and everything will be taken care of. Find out more online at brownfuneralhomeswv.com. Brown Funeral Homes, here for you.
Life is evolving. Over the past decade, the way we do almost everything has changed. Get on your phone, see something you like, click on it, and it shows up at your door. Why should the way you have your car serviced be any different? Why waste your time going to a dealership service department when Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet will come to you? They service all makes, all models, and offer full parts and labor warranties. Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet will come to your door or office and service your vehicle while you're doing what you need to be doing, conducting that business meeting or mowing the lawn. Why take time out of your busy schedule when you don't have to? Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet's friendly, knowledgeable staff will come to you where you live or where you work for full service maintenance, from oil changes to tire rotations, brakes, batteries, multi-point inspections. They handle it all. Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet is committed to delivering the best of the best to their customers. Trust them to service your vehicle where you're at home or at work. Skip the time-consuming and terminal wait at the dealership. Schedule your appointment at fordofhagerstown.com or hancockchevy.com.
We welcome you back here to Greensburg, Pennsylvania. It's Seton Hill's Senior Day, so the Griffins are honoring their 12 seniors on the field currently as, of course, final home game, so that usually leads to a Senior Day for that team. But this is our pregame show brought to you by W. Harley Miller Systems, providing custom integration services like home and office automation, home theater networking, audio, video distribution, and more. Call 304-350-1931 Visit WHMsystems.com. Travis, as we mentioned, both these teams not having seasons that maybe they expected, but both teams have definitely had a lot of competitive games. You look at Seton Hill, most of their games have been one-score games throughout the year. Shepherd, when they haven't ran into some of the powers of the PSAC, like East Strasburg and Kutztown and Slippery Rock, they've also played a lot of tight football games throughout the season. So, on paper, maybe when you think of these two programs, you think Shepherd would win big, but just based off of this season, I would think that we're going to have a competitive game today.
Absolutely. And like you mentioned, the Griffins coming off of a tough loss versus Slippery Rock, 20-38. And again, like you mentioned, they have played well against some very good teams. They have some very talented players on this team, and I expect a handful of these guys are probably going to get some all PSAC honors. And a couple of names that pop up when you look over at that Seton Hill sideline, you're going to have Kyron Craggett, the running back. He's a redshirt junior and already has over 1,200 rushing yards this season, last year, and also another good year. Over 800 yards, averaging 5.4 yards a carry, has 9 touchdowns last year, has 12 touchdowns this year. So that's certainly somebody that's going to pop up on that Shepherd scouting report. And you look over on the defensive side of the ball for the Griffins. And again, this is a group that's very talented at turning over the football. And one of the names that jumps out at you in that regard is Dimitri Whitehead, the strong safety, has 9 interceptions over the past 2 seasons. So he's certainly a ball hawk there on the back end of the defense.
It will definitely be a good challenge, and both these teams have had their strengths on the defensive side. Both of them, for the most part, want to establish the run, so similar styles of play as well, Travis.
Absolutely. We already talked about Craggett for Seton Hill. They also have a thumper that'll come in to spell him from time to time. And Jason Williams, the 5'8", 210-pound sophomore, has been getting more work as of late, coming off of a good game last week versus Slippery Rock. Had 8 carries for 55 yards. That's nearly 7 yards a carry against a very stingy Slippery Rock defense. Craggett also had a good game last week. So these are guys that can get positive yards versus tough sledding. We know that Shepherd defense, very stout, very good at flying to the point of attack. You might catch them out of position there briefly at the beginning of a play, but they're so quick to read and react and rally to the football, so that's going to be huge for Shepherd's defense to continue that trend today. And you look over at Shepherd's offense, having 3-headed monster in the backfield. Early on in the year, it was Malachi Brown, also Grant Swinehart, but here as of late, Jordan Barnett has really begun to assert himself coming off of a game last week. Had 11 carries for 44 yards, but again, let me go back to Barnett. Has 83 carries for 447 yards last week. Had 8 carries for 55 yards. So, again, Barnett is the guy that's really beginning to emerge. Malachi Brown slipping in more to that change of pace third down back, which he's very well suited to be, being a converted wide receiver. So, again, those Shepherd running backs have been able to find their way here down the stretch of the season, and that's something that they're going to need today, because that's, one, going to help slow down that pass rush. That's going to be important, and more important, it's going to help set up that play-action pass.
All right, let's take another break. On the other side of this break, we'll hear from Shepherd Rams offensive lineman Wyatt Pelicano, as well as linebacker Harold O'Neal. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10.
We are the Skinner Brothers. Most folks only need a lawyer once or twice in their lives. And when they're injured or in an accident, most people don't know what to do. We get it. It can be overwhelming.
Nobody likes to be told you need a lawyer, but that's why we're here. We want to get you back to your normal life and help you recover.
So if you or loved one has been in an accident, give us a call. Let us figure out how we can get you compensation.
Reach us at SkinnerWins.com or Google Skinner Lawyers. We'll treat you like family.
After a car accident, what do you get when you call Mansion Ferretti?
You get more experience from a local law firm with over 115 years of combined service.
More respect from a team who treats clients like their own family.
And more fight, because we want you to get every dollar you deserve.
Experience, respect, results. If you've been injured, that's what you want in your lawyer.
And that's what you'll get when you call us. Car accident? Get more with Mansion Ferretti. 304-264-8505.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%. Parsons' goal of financing for all. And Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars, too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Providing
Brought to you by the Murius Group and Ameriprise Financial Advisors John Everson and Phil McCoy. Stop by 1270 Winchester Avenue or call 304-263-4343. Here, Shepherd Rams offensive lineman Wyatt Pelicano. Wyatt, tough loss for you guys last week. What did you kind of take away from it?
Obviously, that's never really the goal. We expect to win here. The plan is to win. Winning is a part of the culture. So it's disappointing whenever the outcome goes that way. That said, I mean, those dudes, it's a very solid program that they got up there at East Stroud. A lot of money going in there, and a lot of dudes that work hard to make that thing go. So yeah, I mean they fought hard, executed their game plan well. They were able to do what they wanted to do, which is stop the bleeding in the inside run game and make us make difficult plays on the edge and stuff like that. And we struggled to execute there. So it was a good win for them. And yeah, so I mean it's not what we wanted, but we're here to bounce back and ready to roll going into Seton Hill.
What's been kind of the mindset of the team? It's 3-game losing streak for you guys. You guys are 5-5. Just how's the team feeling recently?
Yeah, so I said it on the phone earlier, and I don't know if people listen or not, but either way, we're at a bit of a crossroads here on a small level and a big level as a program. Obviously, we're typically a much higher percentage winning team, so for us to be sitting here at 500, it means a lot to not put a W or to not put an L on the season as a whole and be able to come out still ahead in our winning percentage is extremely important to us. And then obviously on the smaller level for this team, Team 95, for the seniors, for guys like me and all the other dudes that this is going to be their last football game, to send them out on a win is extremely important to everybody here. And I think that's kind of the message, and people are buying in, getting excited about to go up and play this game.
From an offensive line perspective, kind of talked about it a little bit with James last week, but just you guys have dealt with some injuries up front. A lot of different guys have rotated in. Just what's been some of the challenges that the O-line has faced this year?
Yeah, we lost our guy, Ty Lucas, early, which definitely sucked. We lost him before we even played a game, which hurts. He's a dude. I mean, he was picked to be, I think he was #1 ranked guard in Division II. So obviously that's it certainly doesn't help you to lose a guy like that. And then having Crum go behind him put us in a tough spot with our interior. But I think that we got dudes in there that are fighting their asses off and giving everything they have to try to make this thing go. And it's getting guys like Caleb Herb prepared for the rest of their career. It's getting the young dudes that are now in the rotation that wouldn't be in the rotation. They're fighting for reps, which gets I mean, it's good for the program in that sense. It'll build depth down the line, but unfortunately for us in the moment right now, it definitely can feel hindering for sure.
What are you seeing, or just overall, how do you feel about the future of the offensive line here at Shepherd?
Oh, I think that they're going to come back better than ever. I think getting, it's nothing is guaranteed on who's coming back or who's staying, but I do know that it'll be a dog pound mentality going forward because there is going to be some gaps in that line, which will create competition, and I think that'll breeds excellence in my eyes. When you have dudes that are competing for spots and nobody's lackadaisical, nobody's relaxed, nobody feels like they're set in their role, it creates a competitive atmosphere which allows everybody to thrive. There's so many ways to put it. Iron sharpens iron, blood makes the grass grow. It's just it's the way it goes. I think every aspect of life, competition will make everybody better involved.
Final game for you this week as well. So just what's your thoughts on that as you take on Seton Hill?
Yeah, obviously it's a bit emotional. It's hard not to get emotional, but to me, I try not to because I feel like if I was to treat this game, if I was to say that I'm going to play harder or do any of this, and I've been doing it wrong the whole time leading up to this. So I'm a big believer in giving everything you got every day that you're out here, and trying to make yourself better tomorrow than you were today. And that's still going to be the message going forward, even if getting better doesn't necessarily mean pass setting, run blocking, and all the stuff that I love doing on the football field. There are still ways for me to physically, mentally, and spiritually improve in my life. So that's really the goal is that, and getting able to go out there and compete one last time and show the world what we can do, what I can do. It's going to be emotional then, I'm sure, but in the time right now, it's another day at the office. You gotta keep going, hard hat in hand, and give it everything you got, just like you've been doing the whole time. So,
and Seton Hill, Coach McCook said they kind of run a little bit of a different defense. So what are some challenges that they provide?
Yeah, they have a very solid game plan and coaching staff. Watching it, this is the first time. Actually, this is another thing that's funny about it. This is the first time that guys like me and James and JT and all them in the world. This is the first time we're seeing Seton Hill. So yeah, they have a healthy mix of even and odd, and they do a very good job of bastardizing it and hiding it, mudding it up, pulling backers down, separating them back, sliding them into places that they're not normally set in a traditional defense, which can make it challenging on the eyes to be able to understand the assignments and get everybody going where they need to do. Fortunately for us, we got number 68 out there who can see it all, and he's gonna get us assignment sound and get us going where we need to. So that's a huge piece of it. But it's also, it's on everybody. We all got to be able to execute physically, and that's just speaking as offensive linemen up front. You got to be able to execute physically, displace down linemen, and create some seams for these cats. I think if we can create some seams, we got a stable of running backs that's gonna get after them. So that's really our game plan, is to try not to let the mud and the water murk up the picture for us, be able to see through and get us some fish.
We're now joined by Shepherd Rams linebacker Harold O'Neal. Final game for you guys this week, but last week against East Stroudsburg, what was your thoughts?
Things ain't turned out our way. I feel like we missed some things out there. We did some good things, we did some bad things, but things ain't been going our way. We're going to turn around and fix it, do what we need to do.
Obviously, the season hasn't gone your way, like you said, but Coach McCook, just talked to him a few moments ago. He feels like it's one of the better defensive seasons he's seen from Shepherd. So just from that perspective, even though wins-loss is not there, defensively, a lot of things to be proud about. How's that feel for you?
I feel good defensively, but like I said, it's a team sport at the end of the day. So if we ain't good on all three aspects, the defense don't really matter, because at the end of the day, when the score look how it look, the defense don't really care. So I don't really look at it like that. We've been balling. We've been doing what we need to do. We've been playing lights out, especially the beginning of the season, but, things happen.
You're one of the seniors on this team, playing in one of your last games, or your last game. So just what does that mean to you this week?
I actually have another year eligibility, so my grad year is next year. But playing my last game with these guys for the seniors, we just want to play together, play for our brothers, play together, stick together, play fast, play sound, and just do what we know we can do out there and just handle business.
Overall, during your time here at Shepherd, you mentioned you still got another year left, but just what does this group kind of mean to you and some of the seniors on the defense?
Man, they my guys, man. It's going to hurt to see them leave, but, the mission got to keep going. I wish them nothing but the best. That's all.
How do you think this season will add some extra motivation heading into the offseason for you guys?
Oh, knowing what we got on our team going into the offseason going to make it better. Just put the pieces together, fix what we missed out there, and just attack it. Because we ain't losing nobody. We're losing, I think, maybe 2 seniors, but 3 seniors on defense, but that's about it. So we good.
Seton Hill, team that you guys haven't played a whole lot, maybe at all for you. So just what are some things that you're seeing from them on film, and what will be some of the challenges this week?
Just stop the run. Stop the run, stop explosive plays, and we're going to come out on top.
All right, Harold, thank you. Good luck this week.
I appreciate you.
Our player interviews are brought to you by the Murius Group and Ameriprise Financial Advisors John Everson and Phil McCoy. Stop by 1270 Winchester Avenue or call 304-263-4343.
Life is evolving. Over the past decade, the way we do almost everything has changed. Get on your phone, see something you like, click on it, and it shows up at your door. Why should the way you have your car serviced be any different? Why waste your time going to a dealership service department when Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet will come to you? They service all makes, all models, and offer full parts and labor
warranties. Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet will come to your door or office and service your vehicle while you're doing what you need to be doing, conducting that business meeting or mowing the lawn. Why take time out of your busy schedule when you don't have to? Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet's friendly, knowledgeable staff will come to you where you live or where you work for full service maintenance, from oil changes to tire rotations, brakes, batteries, multi-point inspections. They handle it all. Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet is committed to delivering the best of the best to their customers. Trust them to service your vehicle where you're at home or at work. Skip the time-consuming and terminal wait at the dealership. Schedule your appointment at fordofhagerstown.com or hancockchevy.com.
The Skinner family has been representing West Virginians for more than 50 years.
We've changed the name of our firm to Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers because we want to be clear about what we do. We represent people who have been in car, truck, and other catastrophic accidents.
We're here to be a voice for the injured and vulnerable, and we take that job seriously with deep commitment to serving our clients wherever they are.
Just Google Skinner Accident Lawyer or visit skinnerwins.com. We'll treat you like family.
Drive More Days is back at Carter Myers Automotive, and this year we'll keep you rolling with a $1,000 gas card. Visit any of our locations to take a test drive, and we'll enter you into a drawing to win a $1,000 gas card. With that kind of money, fill up at the pump for the rest of the year, completely on us. Stop in during Drive More Days for your chance to win a $1,000 gas card. Only at Carter Myers Automotive. Owners just care more.
Welcome you back here to Seton Hill as we get ready for Shepherd and Seton Hill today, as it's the final game of the season for both of these teams. Shepherd will receive the opening kickoff. Seton Hill takes the field. Rams getting ready to run on here as well, as we're just about ready to get started between Shepherd and Seton Hill. First time since 2019 that these two teams will do battle, as here come the Rams out onto the field with the American flag and running out in the white and blue today with the blue and gold helmets. So, Travis, it should be interesting today because, hearing from Coach McCook, I asked him, hey, with the season pretty much decided, will we see some younger guys or what is this game kind of, what's the mindset of the team heading into the game and some of the game plan? And he said the best players will play, and the hope is to send their seniors out right, which obviously makes sense. I mean, this is a senior class that's been a part of a lot of success here at Shepherd.
Yeah, and you nailed it. Nailed the nail right on the head right there, because you don't want to kind of push those guys aside when you consider everything that they've contributed to the program. Just things didn't go your way this year. Injuries kind of slowed you down. You went up against some very tough competition. You got surprised by some teams. So you can have the best laid plans coming into the season, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's the way that the ball is going to bounce. So no reason not to send your seniors out the right way. They have been tremendous contributors to the success of the program and also set a great example for the younger guys to follow, so give them a chance to go out on their shield, so to speak.
Our opening kickoff is brought to you by the Berkeley County Health Department. Prevent, Promote, Protect, offering public, clinical, and environmental services at 122 Waverly Court in Martinsburg. Travis, let's get our keys to the game, which are brought to you by WVU Medicine, Berkeley, and Jefferson Medical Centers, leading healthcare here and everywhere.
Well, for Shepherd, the defense has to do a good job of slowing down the run game. Seton Hill's coming off of a great performance last week versus Slippery Rock. They had 191 yards, averaging 5.2 yards per carry. So this is a running game that can certainly take control of the game and eat up time of possession. Shepherd's offense, one, you got to get off to a fast start. I think that's going to be critical for both teams. So we've seen Shepherd get off to a couple of slow starts, and playing catch-up tends to catch up with you. So offense has to protect the ball and the quarterback. Seton Hill, like we said, they're coming into today's game having 16 interceptions on the season. They have ball hawks on the back end, so you're going to have to be careful with the ball. And the Rams need a spark on special teams. They have been solid all year long. Today, they need some big plays out of that special teams unit. They certainly have the guys out there that are capable of making those type of plays. For Seton Hill, you got to shake off the senior day fog. Teams tend to have a slow start on senior day, and they've got to get off to a fast start and really put some pressure on Shepherd today.
Stanfield has a big hole. Could be that big special team spark right away as he takes it across the 40-yard line to about the 44. And you can tell both these teams are fired up here, Travis, on this opening kickoff. Already some talk back and forth.
There you go. You got those shallow sidelines, and that always leads to some extracurricular activities when there's a hard hit on those sidelines, especially in front of the home bench. And for Seton Hill, looking at their keys for today, establish that run game early. We talked about it. Kyron Crackett is one of the better running backs that you're going to find in the PSAC. He's on a team that may not get that much publicity, but please believe it, he is one of the better running backs that you're going to see in this conference. Also, they got to play a clean game for Seton Hill. They're averaging nearly 70 yards of penalties per game. They can't shoot themselves in the foot like that. Play a clean game and avoid silly mistakes.
Good run here for Malachi Brown on first down for the Rams as the kickoff gave them good field position. Brown takes it into Seton Hill territory to the 47-yard line. We'll bring up a second down and short.
And my last key for Seton Hill, they've got to get pressure on the quarterback. Shepherd's coming off of a 5-sack performance that they let up last week. If they're able to get pressure on the quarterback, that means that you're going to have a better chance of getting turnovers. And like we mentioned, Dimitri Whitehead has 9 interceptions over the past 2 seasons. Certainly has a knack for getting those stray passes when the quarterback has to throw under pressure.
Good block from Grant Swinehart as Malachi Brown takes the jet sweep out of bounds and has the first down. Swinehart sealing the edge there for Shepherd, the grad student from VMI. And it's a first down and 10 for the Rams as they move the ball to the 39-yard line, 8-yard pickup there on 2nd and 2. It's back-to-back 8-yard gains to begin the game.
And that's one of the things that you can do when you have that type of versatility in the backfield is that you can have a couple of running backs in the backfield, one that's going to give you that physicality in between the tackles. You're also going to have some speed to attack the edge.
Powell throws quickly but incomplete, intended for Cameron Dorner. Jordan Dorman was in on the coverage for Seton Hill. Bring up a 2nd and 10 for the 39 of the Griffins.
A little pressure in the face of Powell that time. That was senior defensive end Josh Cohen getting back there and messing up the timing a little bit on that play. Like we mentioned, Leg Powell, 6 foot, 180 pounds. Really has to focus on those mechanics if he wants to get some zip on the ball, throw that ball to the sideline with velocity. Wasn't able to do that play due to the pressure in his face.
Powell dumps it down out of the flat to Swinehart, who sheds off a tackler and heads out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Will bring up 3rd down.
And Swinehart, certainly a capable receiver out of the backfield, but that's only his 3rd catch so far this year. But again, these running backs are versatile. They have their strengths, but they can also be used in a variety of ways. We've also seen Jordan Barnett will slip out of the backfield on occasion and pick up a screen pass here and there. So really putting a lot of pressure on those running backs to find their keys and stick with them even when they slip out of the backfield for a possible pass-catching opportunity.
4-yard pickup to the 35. Here's Powell and the keeper. He's got a big hole, spins out of a tackle, and is down at the 25-yard line. First down, Shepherd, as they move the ball. Dakari Boone in on the tackle for Seton Hill. So Rams moving the ball well here on this first drive down to the 25-yard line. 12:40 to go in this opening quarter, and the Rams just outside the red zone.
And not too often Powell calls his own number, but that's one of the benefits of running that zone read action. You establish that run up the middle, giving that quarterback an opportunity to make that read and pull it and get outside if the opportunity presents itself.
Good hold there for Malachi Brown. He picks up 4 down to the 21-yard line. Drew Zimmerman makes the tackle for Seton Hill.
So far, a nice methodical drive to start the game for Shepherd. Again, establish that run early. Take some of the sting out of that defensive front for Seton Hill, and then that's also going to pay dividends down the road because you're going to use that play-action pass and maybe hit a big one over the top.
Cam Dorner at the bottom of your screen, the receiver to the near side. No receivers to the far side. 2 backs in the backfield. They'll run Brown off the right side. Swinehart trying to seal that edge again. What a good job by Seton Hill to string it out.
That was linebacker Musa Tama. He's the one that broke into the backfield initially to make the running back widen out a little bit to the sidelines. And at that point, Richie McCormick, the tackling machine, was able to run him out of bounds. And talking about McCormick, I mean, he has been putting in work all year long coming into today's game. 84 tackles, 50 of those solo, 10 tackles for a loss, and 2 sacks.
No gain on the play. On 3rd and 7, Lek Powell is sacked in the backfield.
That was Cohen.
Josh Cohen, the senior defensive end, comes up and makes the sack. A lot of play action, a lot of fakes there. It's a slow developing play, Travis, and Seton Hill blew it up, and now the Rams are going to attempt a long field goal for Keith Baker, the freshman. This will be about a 43-yard kick.
And Shepherd kind of forced their hand to bring some heat on that play. Shepherd having success running the ball all the way down the field. Seton Hill had to make an adjustment on that play. They called the blitz on the right time.
Baker's kick is no good from 43 yards. That would have been a season long for the freshman. So Seton Hill ends up getting a stop, Travis, after Shepherd was moving the ball well, like you said, on those first few plays. But it really started on that 2nd and 7 when they couldn't get any yardage, and then brought up a 3rd and 7.
And again, this offense, they have their moments where they have those stretches of consistency, and then it seems like the smallest thing kind of throws them off schedule, and they're not able to overcome it. That was a good kick. It looked like it certainly had the distance, but just wasn't able to get that last little bit of hook to get it inside that upright. And good drive for Shepherd, just unfortunately they weren't able to come up with points as Brody Carroll's able to stick his face in there and get the tackle for the Shepherd defense.
And Carroll makes the tackle after a short gain from Craggett. Another guy that we didn't mention in the pregame show, but certainly a guy to watch out for. This isn't a passing first Seton Hill team, but wide receiver Todd Phillips averages 35 yards a catch.
And Todd Phillips absolutely torched Slippery Rock last week. Had 3 catches for 108 yards, 2 touchdowns with a long of 73. A bigger body wide receiver, so you're not expecting him to have wheels like that, but he can hurt you deep if you don't pay attention to him.
Isaac Ashley hauls in that catch for a short game, the sophomore tight end. And that will bring up a 3rd down here for Seton Hill from the 36-yard line. I'm sorry, that was good enough for a 1st down. Excuse me. So, Seton Hill moves the chains, and now we'll go trips to the far side. Cruz, the senior quarterback, in the shotgun. Rams showing some pressure. They bring it. Komayao avoids the sack, does Cruz, and he'll slide down with Birdie Carroll chasing after him at the 39-yard line. Don't know how he got away from JT Komayao.
Yeah, he doesn't miss often, and it looked like he may have had a lane to pick up some big yards on that play. But again, we talked about it with this Shepherd defense. They have so many good athletes out there, and they're such great open field tacklers. They rally to the football and do a good job at the point of attack, and that was a example right there.
2-yard gain to the 38. Here's a handoff up the middle, and Craggett is stretched out and tackled in the backfield by Miles Greer, the safety. Bring up a 3rd down now for Seton Hill.
Surprised that it took that long for Craggett to get a carry. Coming off of last week's performance, had 25 carries, 113 yards, averaging 4.5 yards a carry and a touchdown. He also had a catch for 16 yards, and that Slippery Rock defense, they're pretty stingy. So the fact that he was able to run the ball that many times and be that productive, again, only lets you know that he's one of the better running backs in the PSAC.
Just a 3-man rush for Shepherd, but wide open is the senior tight end, Ethan Fame, for a 1st down. Cruz to Fame works for the 1st down. A nice play there from Seton Hill.
And Fame, the redshirt senior, had a catch last week for 5 yards, but has been a very productive tight end this year. Coming into today's game, 22 catches for 309 yards, also 2 touchdowns, and he's got the speed to burn you deep. His long was 63 yards. Not too often you can see a tight end get behind the defense like that, but Fame is one of those guys.
So the Griffins have moved it into Ram territory. Here's a dump down out of the backfield to the big running back,
Jason Williams.
Yes. Looking like the bus with the 36.
Yes, they got him listed as 5'8", 210. There's no way in hell he's 210 pounds.
Oh, for 5'8", he might be.
I don't know. I'm looking at how snug that jersey's fitting. He's packed into that thing, but that was a good job working out of the backfield. You certainly don't want to come up, try to tackle him out there on the edge when he's out there working against defensive backs.
Yeah, and Shepherd's been known to give up some big plays to the running backs out of the backfield. So Williams sneaking out there and having a big catch and run. Now they'll feed the big fella, and he'll patiently fight forward for a few yards. Birdie Carroll makes the tackle for the Rams. as well as Harold O'Neal, the senior who has another year of eligibility, as we heard from him in the pregame show. So he'll be back in what is going to be a very experienced defense for Shepherd next year, only losing 3 seniors that played significant minutes this year. So,
and this was a group that played really good football for most of this season. That was something where they really didn't have like that one outstanding player like they've had in years past, but as a unit, a very stingy and tough unit out there this year. So having all those guys coming back certainly bodes well for the Shepherd program.
Jack Brutus chases down Cruz and tackles him just about a yard short of the first down stick. So we'll bring up a 3rd down for Seton Hill, 3rd and about 1. Brutus, haven't really called his name as much in the last few weeks as we did at the beginning of the season, but 3rd and 1 here for the Griffins. And here's the Craggett handoff, and he'll stutter step his way, easily picks up the first down. O'Neal and Harrison combining for the, Greer combining for the tackle. And Seton Hill's moved it into the Ram red zone.
And you talked about Brutus not putting up big numbers this year coming into today's game. 12 tackles, 8 of those solo, also has a couple of sacks. One of the things that kind of works against guys really being that outstanding player is that Shepherd really uses their bench, and they really do a good job of rotating guys in, so you're not going to have that one guy that's really going to blow up the stat sheet like that, the way you're able to rotate guys in and have them be productive.
Craggett's legs just keep turning as he gets down to the 16-yard line. Bring up a 2nd down here in about 8.
And again, just pounding the ball on first down. You're not getting big yards, but you are getting some yards, and you're avoiding 2nd and 10, and more importantly, you're keeping your offense on schedule and trying to avoid being in a 3rd and long or a predictable passing situation versus the Shepherd defense.
Receiver goes in motion. Cruz dumps it down out of the backfield to Craggett. Rams all over at that time. Clayton Batten made the initial hit, but then Craggett kept going. Gets about a yard or 2 after that hit from Batten. And we'll bring him a 3rd down here in 6. With 4:25 to go in this opening quarter. No score between the Rams and the Griffins.
Batten coming off of a really good game last week. Had 4 tackles, 3 of those solo. You also had an interception versus a very potent East Stroudsburg offense.
First quarter winding down here, just over 4 minutes left. Seton Hill trying to get into the end zone. Shepherd trying to hold him to a field goal attempt. Cruz looks toward the end zone and incomplete. He wanted his tight end, Ethan Thame, but JT Komayao was in coverage. It was a good coverage overall from Shepherd, and they got some pressure as well.
And also had Greer helping out over the top, but you could tell that they've been watching their film. Some teams have had success attacking Shepherd when they use that coverage on that cover 2 look on the back end, because you're going to have that gap in between where the corner's playing up in the flat and that safety's helping out over the top. You had that tight end running that wheel route over there. Cruz just led him a little bit too much up the field, just trying to squeeze it into that window in front of Greer.
Wagner on to attempt the 30-yard field goal, and it is up, and it is good. So 3-0 Seton Hill. We'll go ahead and take a 1-minute break. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10.
Most insurance companies see you as a claim number. Most law firms see you as a case file. When their top priority is their bottom line, you only get a fraction of the attention that you deserve. At the law firm of Burke, Schultz, Harmon, and Jenkinson, it's personal. We listen to our clients to see the whole picture, because every part of you is important. For a team built on relationships and results, call Burke, Schultz, Harmon, and Jenkinson at 304 Lawyers, or visit us at burkeandschultz.com.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
We welcome you back here to Seton Hill after a successful drive there that leads to a 3-0 lead on the 32-yard Jack Wagner field goals. It's a 13-play, 59-yard drive. Our scoring drive summaries are brought to you by Floor Pools. As it's 3-0 Seton Hill. And Dorner will just let it go into the end zone for a touchback. So Shepherd will have solid field position here to start this drive. But scoring drive summaries, again, brought to you by Floor Pools. Make every day better with a hot tub or swimming pool. Floor Pools has locations in Martinsburg, Chambersburg, and Hagerstown, including a brand new pop-up location in the Valley Mall. Travis, it was a solid first drive for Shepherd. They moved the ball pretty well. You saw 2 first downs on the drive after a good kickoff return from Stanfield. Malachi Brown had 11 rushing yards, but Rams unable to finish the drive as Baker missed the long field goal attempt for him, 43 yards, which would have been a season high.
Yeah, and so far the special teams edge in favor of the Griffins.
Mike Powell under some pressure. He's hit as he throws, but still throws a beauty down the field to Malachi Brown, who takes it into Seton Hill territory down to the 34-yard line. A big run for the running back, the converted wide receiver, looking like a wide receiver on that play.
Powell did a good job of just staring down the gun barrel and delivering an accurate pass. And going downfield, it looks like that was Dakari Boone in coverage. Pretty good cover linebacker, the 6', 210-pound junior from Waldorf, Maryland. But when you're out there trying to cover somebody like Malachi Brown, that is a tall task for any linebacker. That's somebody that you need to put a DB on that far down the field.
They'll feed Brown in the backfield. He's stuffed
now
into this backfield by Dakari Boone that time.
That's more in his wheelhouse, is making plays like that. Boone, one of the better linebackers that you're going to find coming into today's game. 75 tackles, 43 of those solo, and had a monster game last week versus Slippery Rock. 11 tackles, 7 of those solo. So certainly a little bit more comfortable making plays in the box as opposed to chasing speedy running backs 20 and 30 yards down the field.
Our first quarter brought to you by Smallwood and Small Insurance in Martinsburg, your total insurance solution at 1250 Edwin Miller Boulevard. Call 304-263-3361. 2:35 to go in this opening quarter. Mike Powell in the shotgun will hand it off to Swinehart. Swinehart takes it down to about the 30-yard line before he's tackled on the play by Josh Cohen, who already has a sack earlier. Also, our first quarter brought to you by Hagerstown Ford, revolutionizing the car buying experience. Go to fordofhagerstown.com. 3-0 Seton Hill leading Shepherd here in Greensburg, Pennsylvania, home of Seton Hill University.
And Kason Lanza, the Jefferson High School product, checking in at the tight end position.
Yes. So
certainly passes the eye test coming in as 6'5", 235 pounds as the redshirt sophomore.
3rd and 7 here as they'll hand it to Malachi Brown, who stutter steps in the hole and doesn't go too far. Seton Hill able to get to him. Quentin Posey in on that tackle. One of the seniors playing in their final game here today, and it's now a 4th and 7 for Shepherd. So again, Travis, they get it into Seton Hill territory, but the drive kind of stalling out. No reason to run on Ryan Barrick from this spot as the ball's at the 29-yard line. So the Rams will go for it before a 4th down and 7 with 1:15 to go in this opening quarter. Play clock down to 15 seconds.
And Posey listed as a linebacker, but has 3 interceptions on the season. So does a good job of making plays in space when it's called upon.
Powell goes play action. He's under duress, avoids the sack, somehow gets away, and now Powell will throw it toward the sideline. It's tipped and incomplete.
That was a heck of a
running
play.
for his life, doing his best Johnny Manziel impression, but can't quite find an open receiver down the field. And the Rams turn it over on downs, and Seton Hill will take back over. Tough play there for Powell. I mean, he's blown up as soon as
he turns around.
As soon as he comes out of the play action.
Yeah, when you're doing those play action passes and you're having to turn your back to the line of scrimmage, you really don't know what's going to be waiting for you when you turn around. And that time he had a defender right in his face. He did a good job to avoid the initial pressure, but again, just not able to find an open target. And these slow developing plays on critical downs. And right now the Griffins have been dialing up blitzes on those plays and getting home.
Cruz is under pressure here, and the Rams get to him after a short gain. Bednarski and Queen combined for the tackle. Hey, you talk about slow developing plays. You're not running the ball on 4th and 7. And
no.
If you are, then
yeah. Who's biting on that fake? Like, who are you faking that for?
So why run play action? Why have these slower plays when you're looking for really a quick hitter to get the first down? It's an interesting decision here from the Rams offense, which has had no answers the last few weeks.
Yes, and this Griffins defense is, they're playing their percentages on those plays like that. They're dialing up blitzes, and they're getting pressure in the quarterback's face. So right now, no reason for the Griffins to change their approach on the defensive side of the ball.
Craggett gets nowhere there as Naeem Alexander comes up and makes the tackle. That will do it for the first quarter. It's Seton Hill 3, Shepherd nothing here at the end of 1. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube. We're back in 1 minute.
Mommy, where does flavor come from?
Well, when people love food, they cook it on a Traeger grill. Meat, corn, even pie. And then the Traeger does the rest, which brings everyone to celebrate this beautiful thing that they've created. Because when you share delicious food with your friends, that's the flavor of life.
Shop now and save at Orsini's today.
My friends, it's Cody with Cody's Auto Body. Now, I love Old St. Nick as much as the next guy, but newsflash, it's November. The only spirit moving in me before Thanksgiving is the beer coursing through my veins. Before you start flinging your Christmas cheer all over everyone, and really in today's world, you should ask permission first. Stop by the shop and make sure your ride doesn't look like it was run over by a reindeer. I'm Cody with Cody's Auto Body. That's Cody's with a T for trust.
We welcome you back here to Greensburg, Pennsylvania. 3-0, Seton Hill on top of Shepherd here. It's a 3rd down and 8 for the Griffins after they forced the turnover on downs against the Rams offense. Shepherd has 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers before this 3rd down. They bring some pressure this time. They dump it out of the backfield to Craggett. Craggett just runs through Dante Harrison and gets the first down.
Might be mine.
Harrison did his best to go for the legs.
He did the best he could.
But Craggett just bounces off of you. He is a little slow to get up this time as he stumbles his way toward the sideline. But, man, these running backs for Seton Hill, they're physical backs.
Yes, they are.
Craggett at 5'10", 200, but definitely has his fair share of strength. And we've already seen Williams. And Williams with some explosiveness up the middle has the first down on 1st down and 10 for Seton Hill. So,
and again, this stadium's smack dab in the middle of the city, so the fans are here in full force to represent their Griffins. And right now, you can tell the energy and the momentum is certainly on the sidelines of Seton Hill.
Yeah, for a 3-7 football team on a cold day in November, it's a good home crowd here on the home side. For those of you watching on TV 10, you may not be able to see that. But on the away side, it's a decent crowd that came here for Shepherd to make the 2-hour, 45-minute trip. As Cruz going deep down the field, trying to hit his big play wide receiver, but the pass is incomplete as Todd Phillips, as we mentioned, averaging 35 yards of reception. One of the top receivers in the PSAC, but he's only had 24 catches entering the game to go along with 8 touchdowns. Those are video game numbers.
Yeah, 24 catches, 844 yards. And 7 touchdowns, and you've seen that 6'5" frame looks a bit deceiving. He can roll.
Yeah. He had a Randy Moss day last week.
Yeah.
2 catches, 3 touchdowns.
It's just a lot of good football in the PSAC. You're going to find some very good football players in the PSAC.
For sure. It's one of the top conferences, at least in the region. It is probably the top conference in Division II. And it's been the move that Shepherd wanted to make, to have these kind of situations where they get a challenge week in and week out. It took a few years, but that's clearly the case this season and hopefully moving forward, because you want that good competition. But we have a timeout here, so let's take a 30-second break. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10.
The thing I'm most passionate about with my clients is that 95% of them that come to me, they've never been in trouble in their lives. They've got careers, promising futures, things that matter.
So thankfully, after it was all said and done, I had no DUI and I had no more stress facing me or my family.
When you're on the fence whether to hire a DUI attorney, I always say that you really cannot afford not to. My name is Harley Wagner. My law practice has been exclusively focused on driving under the influence cases throughout the state of West Virginia.
Seton Hill trying to get a drive going. They got a 2nd down and 10 from the 46-yard line. Nick Verzolini alongside me, Travis Smith, Dylan Bishop, our cameraman, back in the studio, Kyle McLaughlin. Travis, we've seen a good mix of a lot of different plays here from the Seton Hill offense. They've been able to get their running game going on this drive a little bit. Tried to hit the deep ball to Phillips on a 1st and 10, and now you're behind the chains, but it makes sense to try to get that deep ball.
Yeah, you don't have to have many excuses to want to get the ball to Todd Phillips. The good things happen when the ball's in his hands.
Cruz throws here quickly. There's Phillips hauling it in on a short catch to the 40-yard line.
And I think that was probably an option route. The corner naturally giving him some space over there. Really no good matchup in this Shepherd secondary going against Phillips. So you have to play off. You have to respect his big play ability. And what you do to counterpunch that, you throw something underneath. So that time the quarterback and the wide receiver on the same page and able to pick up a nice chunk and knock it down to a 3rd and manageable.
3rd down and 5. 13 minutes to go in the first half. 3-0 Seton Hill. Cruz. Pump fakes, trying to avoid the sack. Cuoco running all over the field. Jump ball for Phillips is knocked away and out of bounds. Incomplete. We'll bring up a 4th and 5. We'll see what Seton Hill does here. I mean, the Shepherd offense, like we said, has been very quiet the last few weeks. You're kind of in that no man's land at the 41-yard line. Could go for it here and trust your defense, but I think they're going to bring the punting unit on.
So right now it looks like it's going to be a nip and tuck kind of ball game, so you want to play field position. So if you're able to trust your punter, and Seton Hill has a very good punter, and Jack Wagner, averaging 41.6 yards per punt this year, has 22 inside the 20, so certainly trust in his ability to pin the Shepherd offense deep.
Wagner handles all the kicking duties. Looked almost like he was running a fake there for a moment, but now a fair catch is called for by Miles Greer at the 9-yard line, and that's where Shepherd will take over.
Hey, you got a savvy senior back there. He knows all the tricks. And when he was holding that ball, that's going to make that defense freeze just a little bit, and he put the point of the nose of the football down. That way he was able to get more height on the ball and a little bit more accuracy, and really all Greer could do back there was wave his hand for the fair catch, and now Shepherd having to work not quite off of the shadow of their own goal line, but they're certainly pinned deep in their territory, having to drive 90 yards if they want to try to put it in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll spot it at the 10, so give them about maybe a yard from where I said. As they'll run it up the middle here for the first time today with Jordan Barnett, who gets it out to about the 17, 18-yard line.
Able to pick up a run of about 6 or 7 on that play, so a good chunk on first down. Now it's 2nd and short. You got a big run on first down. Now's the time you want to call that play action pass.
Yep.
Not on 3rd and long or 4th and long. There's really no fake for the defense to try to bite on in those type of situations.
2nd and 4 here from the 17-yard line. Barnett remains the running back in the backfield for the Rams, and they'll feed him. And Barnett this time is slowed down immediately. Going to be brought down on the play eventually by Josh Cohen. We'll bring up a 3rd down and about 3. He gained about a yard on the play.
But it looked like Jordan Mack was in the backfield almost immediately on that play. The 6'6", 260-pound junior from Waldorf, Maryland, made Barnett kind of change course as soon as he got the ball in his hands and really just slowed down his momentum. So now we have a 3rd and short and pressure on this Shepherd offense to move the sticks. Don't want to be punting this deep out of your own territory.
3rd and 2 from the 18. Powell dumps it down in the flat intended for Malachi Brown, but it's incomplete as it was knocked away.
Josh Cohen, once again, living off of that edge, and that's one of the things that we've seen throughout this year, and you've seen that defenses are starting to pick up on it. When they know it's going to be one of those quick passes, if they don't get that initial pressure, they're going to put their hands up, and you have a taller defensive line, and we really saw it in that Westchester game because they had guys that were 6'5" across the board. They were able to get their hands hands up and bat those passes down. So that's one of the drawbacks you're going to have when you have a quarterback that has the size of Lek Powell. And that was like more of a situation thing than it was a height thing on that play.
Barrick with an ugly punt, but Zimmerman ran into it, and then he fumbled it, but a flag comes in. This may be fair catch interference. Shepard recovered the football, but they're saying that Naeem Alexander made contact with Drew Zimmerman after he waited for the fair catch. It was a weird punt from Barrick. We thought it was a bad one, but it almost was perfect in some ways, as Zimmerman, for some reason, decided to leave his feet trying to go for the punt.
It's like, I get it. You want to make a play and draw the foul, but you're putting a lot of trust in the referees to see the play the same way that you saw the play. That's not a good gamble most times, especially on a special teams play when you're going to get the ball back with good field position regardless.
Right. I mean,
so there's no reason to, like, that's that.
I don't know if he was necessarily trying to draw a running into the, or
I'm trying to
catch
get
interference.
I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
I think he's trying to make up maybe the 5 to 10 yards that could have happened with the bounce, but I mean,
because if he did that of his own free will, you're snatching him out of the game and you're sitting down. There is no reason to make that play at all.
Yeah,
you're getting the ball back with good field position. That was crazy.
Was nearly very costly for Seton Hill, but the fair catch interference will bring the return unit back on, as they'll have to re-kick.
And again, that was kind of a funky punt that time coming from Ryan
Barrett. I don't know if that was intentional or it just didn't come out right.
Yeah, it didn't look like it came off his foot correctly. He's been averaging 43 yards per punt this year. He has 20 inside the 20. He also has 11 punts of 50-plus yards. So certainly not a question of leg strength, but again, this has just been an unusual year for the Shepherd Ball Club.
So Barrick this time gets a better boot into it. It will bounce and end up about where it would have been after the fumble was recovered by Shepherd, and then if they would have spotted it there based off of the fair catch interference. So good field position either way here for Seton Hill with 11:15 to go in this first half, and it's been an entertaining game so far. Both teams clearly want this one. The final week of the season for both of these ball clubs. Shepherd coming in 5-5, Seton Hill 3-7. Rams trying to avoid a losing season. They haven't had one of those since 2003 when they were 4-6. So it's not a program that has a whole lot of losing seasons. Under the Hall of Famer Monty Cater, and of course Coach McCook has retained that legacy, but their Miles Greer all over it.
Cuoco was in there as well.
Craggett driven back on the play will bring up a 2nd and long for Seton Hill.
And Crackett, a good running back, has been hesitant to hit the hole today. Again, that Shepherd defense very stout at the point of attack. Don't have a lot of size up front, but that certainly doesn't seem to affect them that much when it comes to just anchoring there in the middle of that tackle box and really making those running backs have to go off tackle or outside to try to get some yards.
Craggett leads the PSAC in rushing yards. Play action pass here, dumped down, complete for a short game. But again, the Rams flying to the football. Pass is caught.
It was Cody Rubrick.
And brought down on the play by Ennis. Will Ennis, the defensive back. So I'll bring up a 3rd and 9 for Seton Hill.
Rubrick was shut out, didn't have a catch last week, but he provides a variety of services for that Seton Hill offense. Will run the ball, will also catch some passes. Also is 3 for 3 when it comes to throwing passes himself. Also has a touchdown under his belt, so maybe something where they're going to try to set up a trick play later on in today's game.
3rd down and 9. Cruz will hand it off on a 3rd and 9, and Craggett is stopped by Brody Carroll after maybe a yard on the play. And again, you're in this kind of same situation you were in last time. They decided to punt here, and they will most likely, I think, run the unit back on as the offense jogs off the field with 9:30 to go in this first half and a 3-0 Seton Hill lead. Punt unit sprints onto the field.
And Wagner showed a little ball fake last time. That may be foreshadowing something later on in today's game.
Well, Miles Greer will let this one go way out of bounds into the cheerleader section.
Let's see where the referee stops. to mark where the ball went out of bounds. And again, we've seen that this year, but just teams that are doing everything they can not to punt the ball to Greer, which is smart. Don't want to give him a chance to do something with the ball in his hands. He is a special dynamic player when he has the ball in his hands, but he's also just a very smart football player and makes good decisions with the ball in his hands.
So it'll be about the 17-yard line where Shepherd takes over here. Down by just 3 in what's been interesting game so far. It feels like Shepherd's had some missed opportunities throughout this first half. Seton Hill has had the better field position as of late, but it hasn't had anything to do with it. And here's Malachi Brown on a jet sweep, and he's only getting it about a yard. Good job again by the Seton Hill defense to win the battle to the outside, which is what Shepherd's kind of known for.
Yeah, with that speed and athleticism. But Boone was the first one in the backfield, and one of the reasons and one of the ways that they're able to string those plays out is that they're getting penetration into the backfield. And that time, Boone was the defender that was able to get back there, make Malachi Brown bounce it outside, and then the rest of the cavalry was able to get out there and push him out of bounds and limiting him to a short gain on first down.
Swinehart is the back here as Dorner goes in motion. 2nd down and 9, high snap. Handoff to Grant Swinehart. He goes absolutely nowhere, and the ball came out as well, and Seton Hill says they have it. Man, tough play there for the Rams as Swinehart fumbled.
Several flags on the play.
Yeah, now the flags coming in, as you mentioned, Travis. Shepherd eventually is the ones kind of coming away with the football.
So those flags came up after the play was blown dead. Also, they're going to say Shepherd retains possession.
Yeah, I guess we never really saw an official single that it was Seton Hill.
But the one on the one over there on the Shepherd sideline was the first one to point in the direction of Seton Hill. And we know these PSAC officials, they love to chat. So who knows how this could result.
Seems like it will be personal foul against Shepherd. But it's going to back him up a good bit here.
I didn't see who was the Shepherd player that recovered the ball, or were they saying that Swinehart was down and it wasn't a fumble to begin with?
I'm not sure. I did see a Ram player come out with the football, but I'm not sure who that exactly was.
But the referee standing over there about the first down sticks, he was quick to point that it was Seton Hill's ball, so not sure what the other official saw to overrule him, but Shepherd able to retain possession. Just unfortunately, they picked up a personal foul and puts the ball back on the 5-yard line. And again, the Griffins have been winning this field position battle so far today, just hasn't resulted in any points for them yet.
Yes, it's 3rd and 21 for the Rams. Lek Powell is in the shotgun formation. And there's 2 receivers to the near side. I would expect some sort of draw play, but Shepherd is running around in the backfield, and Powell just throw it away, and the Rams will punt.
And again, the Griffins have done a good job of dialing up those 3rd down blitzes, just speeding up the clock, putting that pressure in Powell's face, and forcing him to make the smart play, just throw it away, no reason to try to force it. But now you're putting your punter and his heels are going to be on the back of the end zone, so it's going to be critical that they get a good snap and hold those blocks up front, because right now Seton Hill has no reason not to send the dogs after him at this point. They're backed up pretty deep in their own end zone.
Yeah, and Shepherd only sent 2 receivers out on a route there for 3rd and 21, so Barrick is under some pressure here on the punt.
There we go.
A high kick. Zimmerman will call for the fair catch and field it at the 45-yard line. So again, Seton Hill has the ball in this kind of 40 to 50 range, and in between the 40s, I guess you could say, and so far hasn't had much to show for it. Just a 3-0 lead with 7:43 to go. But Shepherd has had very little offense. So,
but if you want to look on the right side, that last punt by Barrick, those are the kind of punts that we're used to seeing out of Barrick. He was having just such an incredible season so far this year. Had a couple of weeks where he had some funky punts that came out and wasn't quite hitting his average as he normally does. But on that one, he boomed it out of the back of the end zone. That was a critical situation, and that's why you appreciate having a punter at the caliber of Ryan Barrick.
First and 10 here from the 45 of Shepherd, and Cruz wants the deep ball. And he's going to be smacked by Jack Brutus at midfield.
Oh, man, he didn't even have to wrap him up. He just ran through him on that play.
A couple of big hits already in this ball game, and Brutus, like you said, he didn't even wrap him up. He just ran him over.
It was kind of insinuating, you better go down. You don't want me to wrap you up.
2nd and 16 here for Seton Hill after the sack. Cruz stepped up in the pocket, and Brutus was right there. 7 minutes to go in this first half. We'll hand it off to Cragen, and there's a big hole for Cragen. He'll take it down to the 40-yard line. Rams bring him down on the play.
And again,
like Miles Greer.
And you have to show the respect to these Seton Hill wide receivers. They got some playmakers out wide. So that draw play, that's pretty tough to stop because you have to draw back, respect that coverage, and then Leggett gets the ball in the delay, and he's able to pick it up in the middle, and now you're in a 3rd and 5, a much more manageable situation for the senior quarterback Cruz.
Yeah, they gain 11 on the run. Now Greer is being forced out of the game, so the officials must have seen something with him that I guess they felt like showed concussion-like symptoms possibly, or maybe some sort of equipment issue, so he's forced out of the game here before 3rd and 5 from the 40 with 6:28 to go. And now it looks like Shepherd's just going to burn the timeout.
Well, we have the benefit of sitting right next to the coach's box up here, and I think the coaches were seeing that Batten was lined up man-to-man on Phillips with no safety help over the top. They were quick to call a timeout on that play because the Shepherd coaches saw what was coming. That was on the short side of the field. That ball was going to Phillips on that play.
Yep, so here we go, 3rd and 5, 6:24 left, 3-0 Seton Hill. We'll take a 30-second break. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10.
W. Harley Miller Systems understands the need and desire for reliable and affordable smart home solutions. Secure your home with a security system and keep a close eye on your family. Automate your home with a Control4 system and have smart technology work as one. Set daily schedules to control your thermostats. Push a button and set the mood for dinner by dimming lights and playing music, or just sit back and enjoy a movie in your own home theater. Put decades of experience to work for you. Visit us at WHMsystems.com or call 304-350-1931.
We welcome you back here to Seton Hill. 3-0 Griffins lead the Rams with 6:24 to go in this first half of play between Shepherd and Seton Hill. Before this 3rd down and 5 from the 40-yard line, Cruz will hand it off. And Cragen has a huge hole, gets a good block, and he's going to take it into the end zone. A 40-yard touchdown run on a 3rd and 5 with 6:13 left in the first quarter, and Seton Hill extends its lead to 9-0 here over Shepherd.
Couple of big blocks on that play, was able to spring Cragen. First up, the big left tackle, Nikita Ifarov, the 6'5", 300-pound senior, and then they were able to run behind again. Grad student, wide receiver extraordinaire Todd Phillips. Again, a big body, showing that not only can he make plays catching the ball, but also a formidable blocker in the run game. And if you're going to get big plays in the run game, chances are you got some really good blocking wide receivers, and that was certainly the case on that play as Cragen was able to take it to the house.
Extra point is up and good. 10-0 Seton Hill with 6:13 left in this first half. We'll take a 1-minute break. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How do I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm Philip McCoy, financial advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
W. Harley Miller Systems understands the need and desire for reliable and affordable smart home solutions. Secure your home with a security system and keep a close eye on your family. Automate your home with a Control4 system and have smart technology work as one. Set daily schedules to control your thermostats. Push a button and set the mood for dinner by dimming lights and playing music, or just sit back and enjoy a movie in your own home theater. Put decades of experience to work for you. Visit us at WHMsystems.com or call 304-350-1931.
Griffins will kick it away after the 40-yard touchdown run from Craggett. Brown will field it on the run and around the 3-yard line. And Malachi Brown's not going to go anywhere. He's brought down inside the 15-yard line. Zimmerman eventually the one to clean it up for Seton Hill, but they're able to get into the end zone on that previous drive, extend their lead to 10-0 here over Shepherd with 6:05 to go in this first half of play. That drive for Seton Hill that led to the score was a 3-play, 45-yard drive. Took just a minute 30 off the clock, but it's 10-0 after the Craggett 40-yard touchdown run. Our scoring drive summaries are brought to you by Floor Pools. Make every day better with a hot tub or swimming pool. Floor Pools has locations in Martinsburg, Chambersburg, and Hagerstown, including a brand-new pop-up location in the Valley Mall. 1st and 10 here from Shepherd. From its own 15-yard line, like Powell looking to throw, looking deep. He wants Cam Dorner, and Dorner double cover.
That's got to be a penalty.
Can't make the catch, and the flags come flying in, as you said, Travis, looked like some helmet-to-helmet contact, and that could be it for Zimmerman if that is the case.
Okay, so we've seen quite a few Shepherd games this year where those guys got ejected.
Yes.
So I'm curious to see on that play if somebody gets ejected. Now, if somebody's going to get kicked out of a game, that's the kind of hit that you get kicked out of a game on.
So far on the day for Shepherd, Leck Powell is 4 for 8 entering this drive for just 54 yards for the Rams, who in total have just 3 first downs, and they have a total of 78 yards to Seton Hill's 136. So it's been a slow day offensively, trying to hit the deep ball there to Dorner, and now they'll talk over if this will be a targeting, and there it is. So that will do it for Zimmerman, I believe. Yep, and he's also their punt returner, so you lose a starter on defense, and
they're taking
targeting call as well.
And he was their backup free safety this year, because coming into the year it was David Awua who.
And now he just threw his helmet down. So just 2 terrible mistakes here from Zimmerman. One, the targeting, that stuff happens, right? It's football. You don't want to necessarily say that it was completely intentional or anything like that. But then he's talking to the Shepherd sideline on his way off the field and then throws his helmet into the turf, which is just, a bad decision overall. And you're already out of the game. Why make it worse?
Yeah, you look at it from one side. If you're just looking at it, it's a team sport, but he's looking at it as an individual. He's a redshirt senior.
Yeah.
What's the harm going to be? This is his last game. So, personally, it's not going to affect him too much, but you're still hurting your team. You just gave the opposing team 30 yards and a whole bunch of momentum. Get your butt off the field. Set a good example for those young guys. And, again, he was the backup free safety because David Awul was the starting safety. He got injured in the Edinburgh game, didn't play last week. So, shorthanded on the back end.
And there goes Jordan Barnett running through the Seton Hill defense, and Barnett is still going before he's knocked out of bounds inside the 5-yard. We saw an incredible run for Craggett, and now Barnett explodes down the sideline.
And again, you go back to the foolish play by Zimmerman. You get the targeting. Okay, it's a bang-bang play. That happens. Then you start talking, running your mouth, throwing your helmet. Now all the momentum is on the side of Shepherd. Now you've galvanized that Shepherd football team. Now they're angry. Now they're ready to play some football. Now you get a big run like that by Barnett, and Shepherd's right back into this game. And you were in complete control 2 plays before. Now you're in a dogfight.
1st and goal here from the 7-yard line. Malachi Brown is the running back. Barry Hill and Taylor are your receivers to the near side. Ross Najona in motion. They'll feed Malachi, and Malachi has about 2 yards before he's stopped on the play by Richie McCormick.
That time running behind big left guard Curtis Jefferson, the redshirt junior, 6'1", 286 pounds, was able to push the pile forward a little bit. And again, Barnett on that last big play, showing an extra gear in the open field. We know he's a thumper in between the tackles, but when he gets out in the open field, he can drop it down into 5th gear and show you what type of speed he's capable of.
Jordan Barnett slimmed down a little bit in the offseason, trying to pick up some extra speed. Here's a 2nd and goal from the 5, and the big fella is back in the backfield to the left to Leck Powell. Hill goes in motion, and they'll feed Barnett. Barnett trying to push his way forward, gets down to about the 2-yard line. Will bring up a 3rd down and goal for the Rams.
It looked like he had a little bit of a lane to try to get into the end zone that time, but the Griffins defense was quick to react and shut that thing down. You see
Shepard goes quickly. They'll go play action. Pass intended for Hill, and it's caught. Touchdown, Shepard. Barry Hill scores from 3 yards out, and the Rams are back in it at 10-6 with 4:02 to go in this first half.
Powell had his choice of options on that play. 3 guys out on the route. 3 guys were open. That time Powell just choosing to go out wide and picking up that much-needed touchdown. Now Shepard's right back into this ball game. Now Shepard's got a little something to play for now after the couple personal fouls have just really lit a fire on that sideline.
Keith Baker on to attempt the PAT, and the kick is up, and it is good. So Shepard has made it a 3-point game once again here with 4:02 to go in this first half. It is Seton Hill 10, Shepard 7. We'll take a 1-minute break. This is Shepard Rams football on TV 10.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%. Parsons' goal of financing for all. And Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars, too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
A few penalties against Zimmerman of Seton Hill, setting up the Rams in some good field position. And Baker's kick this time is a short one, fielded around the 10-yard line, and then brought down at around the 20. That's where Seton Hill will start. But as I was saying, it was a drive that was helped out by some penalties, but the Rams get into the end zone. After a 4-play, 85-yard drive, take 2:03 off the clock. Barry Hill scores from 3 yards out, and Shepard's back in it here at 10-7. Our scoring drive summaries are brought to you by Floor Pools. Make every day better with a hot tub or swimming pool. Floor Pools has locations in Martinsburg, Chambersburg, and Hagerstown, including a brand-new pop-up location in the Valley Mall. 10-7 our score, 3:55 to go in this first half, and cruising the offense back on the field. Here's Craggett. Craggett stutter steps in the hole. Nice run. Harold O'Neal throws him out of bounds. That's going to be a late hit out of bounds on O'Neal.
You just got the momentum because the guy on the other team made some boneheaded decisions. And then you just give it right back to him by making a boneheaded decision of your own.
Yeah.
O'Neal, you're a better football player than that. But I don't want to focus on that part of play. What I want to focus on is Craggett shaking Carroll out of his shoes on that play. He did such a good job to set up that block and get open. He had pressure right in his face. We know Carroll, he's a high motor defender. Did a good job getting that initial pressure in the backfield, but Craggett's got a couple tricks up his sleeve, was able to juke him a little bit, set up the block for his big guard to move him out of the way. And again, tough play on the sideline. And again, there's not a lot of space over there. It's very similar to Shepard's setup where you got shallow sideline, so there's not a lot of room to move out of the way when those bodies are flying over there. But that was just an unnecessary play that time by O'Neal.
The whistle was blown. No reason to continue that play there. But Craggett will run hard again. This time Carroll brings him down after a solid pickup. And again, wanted to go back to that scoring drive for Shepard because I feel like it would be kind of disrespectful. I don't know if that's the right word, but
remiss.
Yes, to not mention the big run from Jordan Barnett that sets up the touchdown, of course, as well. So Barnett with the big run, some penalties help out as well, and the Rams get into the end zone. 3:03 left here in this first half and a rolling clock and a 10-7 Seton Hill lead. Here's a play action for Cruz. He looks deep down the field. He's under some heat. And Cruz is brought down in the backfield. It's Queen coming up with the sack, I believe.
Oh, Comey
out. Yes, that is a 10, not a 50.
He does such a good job. He's such a versatile chess piece for this Shepherd defense. Can man the middle at that Mike backer position, but you can also put him on the edge, and he can get pressure on the quarterback. And so far, this defense has really made it tough on Cruz back there, not giving him a lot of time to look downfield for those big targets.
That is the majority of their passing plays. They like to take those deep shots. So 3rd down and 9 from the 45-yard line. 2:15 left here in the first half of play. Shepherd has some timeouts to work with, as well as the 2-minute warning, or the 2-minute timeout, I should say. Here's a dump down to Ashley. Ashley makes the catch, and Komayao just shoves him to the ground at midfield. It'll bring up a 4th down, and Seton Hill will be forced to punt as we hit the 2-minute timeout. So Shepherd has a chance to go into halftime tied or possibly in the lead. They have plenty of time to work with. We'll take a 1-minute break here for the 2-minute timeout. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10.
Insurance companies like to play games. They say they're on your side, but they aren't. We have a team that can handle any curveball they throw. At Burke, Schultz, Harmon, and Jenkinson, you get a dedicated lawyer, and every case gets a team effort. So you get nearly 150 combined years of experience going to bat for you. And we like to win. Join the team that takes your personal injury case seriously. Burke, Schultz, Harmon, and Jenkinson. We play hardball.
The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg is the place to be. Join us every night to relax and enjoy football or basketball games featuring either the Martinsburg Bulldogs, Shepherd University Rams, or West Virginia Mountaineers. We will have steak night every Wednesday, trip nights every Thursday, and now taco and margarita nights every Tuesday. You can find us on Facebook or call 304-267-7520. The Palace Lounge is located at 1350 Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg.
Welcome you back here Welcome you back here to Greensburg, Pennsylvania. 10-7 Shepherd. Seton Hill will have a high kick that heads out of bounds at the 21-yard line. That's where Shepherd will take over, but our second quarter is brought to you by Smallwood and Small Insurance in Martinsburg, your total insurance solution at 1250 Edwin Miller Boulevard. Call 304-263-3361, as well as the Brown Funeral Home and Cremations, Robert Fields & Sons, a family-owned full-service funeral home proudly serving the area since 1880. Shepherd has the football here around the 23-yard line. That's what we'll take over with 1:52 left. Travis, plenty of time for the Rams to add some points before halftime, and Seton Hill gets it to start the second half. Here's a big run. Malachi Brown across the 30 to about the 32-yard line before he's thrown down.
Shepherd still a couple of timeouts in their back pocket, and we know the clock stops briefly when you pick up a first down, so still access to the whole playbook. You can still run the ball.
Juking out defenders. Good lead blocking from Wyatt Pelicano. It's a first down for Shepherd. And now they'll burn one of those timeouts with 1:28 to go in this first half. Let's take a 30-second break. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10.
We are the Skinner Brothers. Most folks only need a lawyer once or twice in their lives. And when they're injured or in an accident, most people don't know what to do. We get it. It can be overwhelming.
Nobody likes to be told you need a lawyer, but that's why we're here. We want to get you back to your normal life and help you recover.
So if you or a loved one has been in an accident, give us a call. Let us figure out how we can get you compensation.
Reach us at SkinnerWins.com or Google Skinner Lawyers. We'll treat you like family.
Welcome you back here to Seton Hill. 10-7. Seton Hill leading Shepherd here with 1:28 to go before halftime. Nick Verzolini, McLaughlin back in the studios in Martinsburg. Dylan Bishop, our cameraman. It's our final broadcast of the season for the Shepherd Rams. 2024 season about to wrap up. Shepherd trying to finish it with a win in a winning season.
And it's shaping up to be a pretty entertaining game. We got a raucous home crowd, and things getting a bit chippy and big plays.
We mentioned the injuries for Shepherd that they've dealt with. It looks like James Bell's been out of the game for a little bit as Michael has taken over at center. Mike Powell is drilled on the play off the edge, and again another big hit.
Dimitri
from the
Whitehead.
Seton Hill defense.
Yeah, that was Dimitri Whitehead. We talked about his prowess in the secondary as far as picking the ball off, but that time he came up untouched. Absolute kill shot of that time on Leck Powell from the blind side, so credit to Powell just to being able to shake that off and get up unassisted. My goodness.
So the entire interior of the offensive line is different than how Shepherd opened the season at this point in the final game of the year. So just it's been a beat-up team for the Rams, especially on the offensive line, but they've done their best as this time one of the veterans, Wyatt Pelicano, beat off the edge.
Jordan Mack, once again, getting into the backfield. 6'6", 260 junior from Waldorf, Maryland. Again, knowing Shepherd's going to have to take some deep shots to try to get down the field. And, again, the Griffins have done a good job of dialing up these blitzes and getting home. They just sent the safety on a blitz the previous play, that time getting pressure up the middle. And Powell,
and I think Seton Hill now knows that they can burn a timeout. And, yes, Leck Powell is limping at the 25-yard line.
And I just got to say, just as a football fan, if you came in today's game and you didn't know either team's record, you would think that both of these teams they're playing for playoff positioning and seeding. Like they're playing with like there's a lot on the line. I like that. You have to appreciate that as a football fan, that both of these teams are out there playing with just incredible intensity today. Good football.
It's a 3rd down and 21. 10-7 is our score. Seton Hill trying to get the ball back now before halftime, since there's a good possibility that they're going to be able to do that. Shepherd will most likely, you would figure, just try to run some more clock here before the half and then probably punt it away and flip the field at this point. And now you have the situation where Powell is limping. Of course, Ezra Bajent, the backup quarterback, ready and waiting for an opportunity. But, I mean, Shepherd obviously wants its veteran quarterback out there now at this point, and Powell, who's continuing to hobble his way back onto the field. So you do have to wonder if he'll continue. At least for now, they're going to let him play through it. Malachi Brown goes in motion. Again, Leck is just really favoring that leg, but Brown does what he can there on the
you got to stay in bounds on that.
That's tough.
You got to stay in bounds. You make Seton Hill use that timeout.
But, Travis, I don't think Leck Powell's going to be able to finish this game just by how he's moving out there unless something significantly changes at halftime.
I mean, you go in at halftime, and it's going to be tough for him to keep that thing warm and loose. I mean, it might be something where they're going to try to maybe pop that shoe off and retape it, but certainly a lot of questions going in, and looks like Dorner is down as well.
A few Rams kind of got tangled up on that outside run.
He took a shot on that targeting play, so he's definitely caught some heat so far today. So a lot of people flying around. There's some hard hits out there today.
For sure. So we'll take a 30-second break. Our score, Shepherd 10, Seton Hill 7. I'm sorry, Seton Hill 10, Shepherd 7.
Drive More Days is back at Carter Myers Automotive. And this year, we'll keep you rolling with a $1,000 gas card. Visit any of our locations to take a test drive, and we'll enter you into a drawing to win a $1,000 gas card. With that kind of money, fill up at the pump for the rest of the year, completely on us. Stop in during Drive More Days for your chance to win a $1,000 gas card. Only at Carter Myers Automotive. Owners just care more.
Greensburg, Pennsylvania. Dorner still slow to get up there. As our score 10-7, Seton Hill leading Shepherd. 1:01 left to go before the half. Travis, we mentioned it's been a good football game so far. Dorner has been now taken to the sideline, able to walk it off on his own power, so that's a good sign for a Shepherd team that's clearly been beat up in this first half. Michael now in its center for Bell. Like Powell's limping around. Dorner has now been taken to the sideline. So we'll see.
Just the grind of a difficult football season, and again, just the breaks aren't going your way. And we knew that Shepherd was going to have to rely on their running game. We figured that was going to be a strength, but that kind of got undermined by all the injuries that you had up front. And Shepherd does a tremendous job of developing these offensive linemen, able to rotate them in. But depth is only a good thing when you don't have to use it. And Shepherd's been in a position where they've had to use it this year.
Punt's going to roll inside the 10-yard line to about the 8-yard line.
There we go.
Brody Carroll.
That's the barrack that we're used to seeing right there, pinning teams inside the 5.
So that most likely leads to Seton Hill not being super aggressive here with just 50 seconds left unless they can break a big run or something like that.
As I'm saying, they have a couple of running backs that are, good at making people miss, and 2, breaking tackles. So if you're able to get a big run here on the first couple of downs, that might change your goal for this final drive. But as of right now, being that close to your own goal line, you're just looking to give your quarterback a little bit of space and basically run out that time on the clock.
Yeah, 1st and 10 here from the 8. You also get the ball to start the second half, so there's no real reason to push it too much. Craggett trying to get to the edge, though, and give him a big run. He's going to get out of bounds at around the 23-yard line. G.O.D. Tolbert was the man to force him out. So
and again, another really good block that time by Phillips, just showing how valuable he is to this offense. Not only does he give you the big plays in the passing game, but he's a tremendous blocker out there on the edge. Again, he's 6'5", 200 pounds. So he's a load out there on most defensive backs. Even Dante Harrison, 6'1", 185. And he usually has the size advantage most weekends going up against these wide receivers. Not so today.
Only 6 seconds come off the clock, so now they throw the ball, and it's incomplete behind the intended receiver, the tight end, Ethan Fame. And we'll bring up a 2nd down and 10 here, 40 seconds left from the 23.
And you see the approach that the Shepherd defense is playing today, playing more coverage and trying to make Cruz squeeze the ball into windows. Again, he's not the most accurate passer. This isn't the most efficient passing game, but they're really not built for that kind of passing game. We're going to pound the rock, and take our deep shots and let our wide receivers win 50-50 balls.
Yeah, only about 51% completion percentage so far for him this year. As Cruz will take the snap, it's just about a 3 or 4-man rush, and they'll run the draw play. Good tackle by Brett Kowoka around the 29-yard line. That's 30 seconds left. We'll most likely just see Seton Hill, I would think, here before a 3rd and 10. Just take it to halftime. Maybe run one more play in case you're ready to do something crazy. But Craggett now has to be taken off the field. He's clearly been dealing with something today as well, as Williams will check back in.
And getting tackled like that from behind, a lot of times your heels kind of get caught up in the defender's chest as he's taking it down to the ground. And Quokka did a good job on that previous play.
So they do give it to Williams one last play here. There is going to be a holding flag on it. Brody Carroll flying around and knocking the running back out of bounds, and Williams. But before this, I mean, penalty doesn't really mean too much here at this point. It's the final play of the half. So
big lineman. They checked in. They had like a jumbo set coming in, and you bring in Nephi Tuiasosopo, the 6'2", 300-pound junior. He started at guard earlier this year, but has falling out of that starting rotation, but comes in on certain packages. And that time, that was a pretty obvious play as he just buried the defender. And going to have the penalty, but really not going to be an issue because we're going to go to halftime.
Yeah, Shepherd will just take it to halftime here as they'll decline the penalty, I would think, as it's 10-7 Seton Hill here at the half. We'll take a 2-minute break. On the other side of that break, we'll have the Mansion Freddie Law Firm halftime show. Seton Hill on top of Shepherd. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10.
This is Cody with Cody's Auto Body. When did turkey trots become a thing? It used to be that those elastic waistbands were to see how many trips you can make back and forth to the kitchen for seconds, not around the block. Now people are getting up and running on Thanksgiving. Unless it's a beer run between games, I'm not interested. Sit your ass down for some food and leave the running for next year. I'm Cody with Cody's Auto Body. That's Cody's with a T for f***ing trust.
One of the questions lawyers get asked the most is, what is my case worth?
I'm Steven Skinner, and this is my brother Andrew with Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers.
The truth is, it's very difficult for a lawyer to pinpoint a number because every case is different.
We get to know each situation and will give you an idea of what your case is worth and why.
The sooner we get involved, the better we can do getting you the compensation you deserve.
Google Skinner Lawyers or go to skinnerwins.com. We'll treat you like family.
Mayhem is everywhere.
I'm your new bangs, and you can't stop staring at me. That's it. Just tilt the rearview mirror over here. And while you're checking me out more times than a library book, your car is wandering into that lane over there. More bangs? Neat. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate.
Call Martinsburg Allstate agent Gary Kelly today at 304-263-4596. We're at the half. Time for a scoring recap, stats and analysis, scores from around the PSAC and Super Region 1, the Division 1 Top 25, and the latest on the West Virginia University Mountaineers and Marshall University Thundering Herd. Let's get it started as we go back to the field and rejoin our TV10 broadcast team.
We welcome you back here to Seton Hill. Our score here at the half, it's Seton Hill 10, Shepherd 7. Our halftime show brought to you by the Mansion Freddie Law Firm in Martinsburg, where it's about seeking justice for you. Go to wvjusticelawyers.com. Travis, your thoughts on that first half?
Entertaining. If I had to sum it up in one word, again, Shepherd getting off to a slow start. Seton Hill able to take advantage of good field position early on and a strong run game. Also able to have a big pass play here and there, so they're able to play well in front of a very rowdy home crowd. But, again, a couple of unfortunate penalties, and we knew that that was going to be an issue for the Griffins coming into today's game, averaging nearly 70 yards of penalties per game, and that was just the window, that was just the break that the Shepherd football team needed to get back into this contest. So after a couple of boneheaded penalties by Zimmerman, there's no reason to call it any other way, 30 penalty yards, and then after that, Jordan Barnett was able to have a huge run down that sideline and set up Shepherd in position to get that score and get him back into the game. So Seton Hill went from being basically in total control of the game. Now they're back into a dogfight because of a couple boneheaded penalties. So right now, Shepherd, that sideline, you could tell that momentum really shifted to the Shepherd sideline there late in the first half. So curious to see what adjustments they're going to make coming in the halftime. I think the biggest question for us to see, the biggest question that we're going to try to get an answer to going into the second half is Lake Powell going to be able to continue, because he was taking some big shots. Seton Hill was doing a good job of getting pressure and dialing up those blitzes. So that's going to be a big question for Shepherd. Are they going to be able to finish the season with the quarterback that started the season, or are they going to have to make a change and maybe try to sustain some of that momentum that they were able to build up late in the first half? So, again, an exciting football game, and, man, it's almost making me sad that this is our last football game together, because this is a very entertaining football game.
Yeah, it's been a good season so far, but obviously things didn't really go how Shepherd hoped. Usually we'd be getting ready for playoffs next week, Travis, but won't be the case this year. But there's always next season.
There you
go.
go.
We'll get some first half stats, though, and we still got a whole second half of competitive football left to be played. Our first half stats brought to you by Hagerstown Ford, revolutionizing the car buying experience. Go to FordofHagerstown.com. So for the Rams, they were able to run the ball pretty effectively with that big run that really helped out, of course. Jordan Barnett, 4 carries, 58 yards at halftime, including that 48-yard scamper. Malachi Brown, 8 carries, 37 yards. So the Rams in the first half, 17 carries for 89 yards. Passing the football, like Powell was solid with what he was given to do. 6 of 11, 66 yards and a touchdown. Malachi Brown leads the team in receiving yards at the half with 4 catches for 59 yards, including the 41-yard reception that he had. And Barry Hill caught that touchdown for Shepherd from 3 yards out. Defensively, the Rams' leading tackler at halftime is Miles Greer, as well as Brody Carroll and Gio D. Tolbert, as well as Harold O'Neal, with 5 tackles each. Greer with 6 here at the half. For Seton Hill on the ground, they had the big 40-yard touchdown run from Craggett. He totaled 13 carries for 94 yards and the score. Jake Cruz at halftime, 8 of 12, 62 yards. Craggett has also led the team in receiving so far, 2 catches for 13 yards. Ethan Fame has the most receiving yards with 1 catch for 16 yards, as well as Jason Williams for a catch for 16 yards as well. Defensively for Seton Hill, Dakari Boone leads the team with 6 first-half tackles. Drew Zimmerman had 4 tackles before he was ejected, and McCormick with 4 tackles as well. So we are at halftime at the score at 10-7 Seton Hill. And we'll take another break. On the other side of that break, we'll hear from Colin McLaughlin back in the studios in Martinsburg. We'll have the halftime scoreboard show, and then we'll send it back here, and we'll look at some team stats and some other things that stood out to us about that first half. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10.
It's not rocket science. Get a 12-piece chicken for $12 at happy hour from 5 to 7 p.m. with the Rocks app.
Order number N58.
It's not rocket science. Get a 12-piece chicken for $12 at happy hour from 5 to 7 p.m. with the Rocks app.
W. Harley Miller Systems understands the need and desire for reliable and affordable smart home solutions. Secure your home with a security system and keep a close eye on your family. Automate your home with a Control4 system and have smart technology work as one. Set daily schedules to control your thermostats. Push a button and set the mood for dinner by dimming lights and playing music, or just sit back and enjoy a movie in your own home theater. Put decades of experience to work for you. Visit us at whmsystems.com or call 304-350-1931.
At the Berkeley County Health Department, our motto is Prevent, Promote, Protect. Since 1935, our mission has been to provide clinical and environmental services to protect the health of the general public. We're committed to building public health in our community by offering a wide range of services, including blood pressure screening, breast and cervical screening, family planning, counseling, lab testing, and more. We perform health inspections to make sure the restaurants you visit are clean, and we prepare and coordinate plans to respond to all hazards. The Berkeley County Health Department, 122 Waverly Court, Martinsburg.
Mommy, where does flavor come from?
Well, when people love food, they cook it on a Traeger grill. Meat, corn, even pie. And then the Traeger does the rest, which brings everyone to celebrate this beautiful thing that they've created. Because when you share delicious food with your friends, that's the flavor of life.
Shop now and save at Orsini's today.
Welcome into the halftime scoreboard show here on TV 10 at the half for the final game of the season for the Shepherd Rams. They trail at the half 10-7 against Seton Hill. Let's now take a look around the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference with some other games in action, and we'll begin with the most important one at the half, the 2024 Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference Championship game between undefeated and third-ranked in the country Kutztown and the 8-1 overall 17th ranked team in D2 Cal U. That is a low-scoring one at the half, a score of 7-0. The Golden Bears lead the Vulcans. Also at the half, it is East Stroudsburg leading Clarion by a score of 14-7, so that one only a touchdown difference for the game. Also at the half, it is a 14-10 lead for Lock Haven at Gannon. Millersville trying to get its first win of the season on the last game of the season. And right now, things are looking good. They're up 13-0 on the road at Edinboro. And then just getting underway, the kickoff at 1 o'clock, so 8:22 left in quarter number 1. It's number 11, Slippery Rock, out to an early lead against Bloomsburg at 7-0. And then at 2 o'clock today, it will be Shippensburg at IUP. Let's now go and take a look at the NCAA Division I football scoreboard. Few top 25 games in action right now. 40 seconds left in the second quarter. It's number 2, Ohio State, after a slow start against Northwestern, now out to a 21-7 lead for the Buckeyes at Wrigley Field in Chicago. Minute 46 left in the second quarter. It's number 3 Texas leading Arkansas by a score of 10-0. All eyes on this game for Mountaineer fans as Mountaineers play at 4 o'clock, but need some help from Utah if they want a shot at potentially making the Big 12 championship game next month. Utah, though, not taking care of business right now on the road against number 17 Colorado. It's Colorado 14, Utah 3. However, I believe it looks like Utah just got the ball back after a Shedeur Sanders fumble. So there you go. Utah maybe trying to get a spark here. Number 20 Clemson now leads Pitt by a score of 14-7. That has 5:11 left in the second quarter, and with a minute 47 left in the second quarter, it's number 25 Tulane on top of the Navy Midshipmen 14-0. So that is a look at some scores from around the country. Again, our score at the half, 10-7. Seton Hill leads Shepherd. So step aside, take another 2-minute break now, and on the other side of that break, we'll send it back to Greensburg, Pennsylvania, with Nick and Travis on the call for the second half of the season finale. This is Shepherd Ram football on TV 10.
Life is evolving. Over the past decade, the way we do almost everything has changed. Get on your phone, see something you like, click on it, and it shows up at your door. Why should the way you have your car serviced be any different? Why waste your time going to a dealership service department when Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet will come to you? They service all makes, all models, and offer full parts and labor warranties. Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet will come to your door or office and service your vehicle while you're doing what you need to be doing, conducting that business meeting or mowing the lawn. Why take time out of your busy schedule when you don't have to? Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet's friendly, knowledgeable staff will come to you where you live or where you work for full service maintenance, from oil changes to tire rotations, brakes, batteries, multi-point inspections. They handle it all. Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet is committed to delivering the best of the best to their customers. Trust them to service your vehicle where you're at home or at work. Skip the time-consuming and terminal wait at the dealership. Schedule your appointment at fordofhagerstown.com or hancockchevy.com.
The thing I'm most passionate about with my clients is that 95% of them that come to me, they've never been in trouble in their lives. They've got careers, promising futures, things that matter.
So thankfully, after it was all said and done, I had no DUI and I had no more stress facing me or my family.
When you're on the fence whether to hire a DUI attorney, I always say that you really cannot afford not to. My name is Harley Wagner. My law practice has been exclusively focused on driving under the influence cases throughout the state of West Virginia.
It's the new normal. You live, work, and play everywhere. Whether it's the family car or the family business, you need insurance that keeps pace with your changing life. Home on the job or working from home, peace of mind comes from knowing your whole world is covered. No matter what happens or how big it grows. Whatever your new normal, Erie Insurance's award-winning service and personal agents can keep pace. Call your local agent today or visit erieinsurance.com for a quote.
We welcome you back here to Greensburg, Pennsylvania. Our score here at the half, it is Seton Hill 10, Shepherd 7. So we mentioned a lot of the individual stats here at halftime, but we'll take a look at some of the team numbers through that first half. Seton Hill, 9 first downs, Shepherd 7, so pretty even there. Rushing yards, Seton Hill has the slight advantage, 21 attempts for 111 yards. Shepherd was 17 for 89 in that first half. Both teams pretty even in the passing yards category, 66-62 in favor of the Rams, and Seton Hill has 2 more completions and 1 more attempt so far. The total yardage, 173 to 155 in favor of the Griffins. Shepherd has the fumble, but it was not lost. So neither team has turned the ball over in that first half. Penalties were pretty even as well. And third down conversions. Shepherd 2 of 7. Seton Hill 4 of 9. Fourth downs, 0 of 1 is Shepherd. Seton Hill has not gone for it on fourth down, and both teams are 1 for 1 in the red zone. So Travis, just looking back at these stats through the first half, reflect the game that we've had so far, 10-7, and overall it's been pretty even.
And once again, the struggles on third down for the Shepherd offense continue. That's something that's been a problem all year long, really having like an identity on third down. You're really not sure what they want to do. Are they going to try to run the ball or pass the ball? And they've kind of been caught in that area of indecision of not knowing what they want to do on third down. And Seton Hill's taking advantage of that because they're really forcing Shepherd's hands because they've done a good job of dialing up exotic blitzes on third down, whether they're bringing a safety or having a walk-up linebacker coming in like a delay blitz off the edge. So Seton Hill's done a good job of keeping that Shepherd offense off balance on third down. So that's something that Seton Hill's going to look to do in the third down, and that's something that Shepherd's going to look to improve upon here in the second half of just being a little bit more efficient on third down and not putting so much emphasis on your offense to have to rely on big plays to avoid those third and short situations.
So, again, here at the half, it's 10-7 Seton Hill. It's been a good football game between these two teams. We will take another 2-minute break. On the other side of that break, we'll be ready for the second half kickoff. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10.
Drive More Days is back at Carter Myers Automotive, and this year we'll keep you rolling with a $1,000 gas card. Visit any of our locations to take a test drive, and we'll enter you into a drawing to win a $1,000 gas card. With that kind of money, fill up at the pump for the rest of the year, completely on us. Stop in during Drive More Days for your chance to win a $1,000 gas card. Only at Carter Myers Automotive. Owners just care more.
The Palace Lounge in
Drive More Days is back at Carter Myers Automotive.
The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg is the place to be. Join us every night to relax and enjoy football or basketball games featuring either the Martinsburg Bulldogs, Shepherd University Rams, or West Virginia Mountaineers. We will have steak night every Wednesday, trip nights every Thursday, and now taco and margarita nights every Tuesday. You can find us on Facebook or call 304-267-7520. The Palace Lounge is located at 1350 Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg.
One of the questions lawyers get asked the most is, what is my case worth?
I'm Steven Skinner, and this is my brother Andrew with Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers.
The truth is, it's very difficult for a lawyer to pinpoint a number because every case is different.
We get to know each situation and we'll give you an idea of what your case is worth and why.
The sooner we get involved, the better we can do getting you the compensation you deserve.
Google Skinner Lawyers or go to skinnerwins.com. We'll treat you like family.
It's the new normal. You live, work, and play everywhere. Whether it's the family car or the family business, you need insurance that keeps pace with your changing life. Home on the job or working from home, peace of mind comes from knowing your whole world is covered. No matter what happens or how big it grows. Whatever your new normal, Erie Insurance's award-winning service and personal agents can keep pace. Call your local agent today or visit erieinsurance.com for a quote.
Half, Seton Hill 10, Shepherd 7. A lot of things transpired toward the end of that half as well, Travis, that we haven't talked about too much here at halftime. And had a few guys go down with some injuries, like Powell was limping toward the end of the first half. We weren't certain if he would be able to continue this ball game. He did come back out after limping toward the sideline for the final play of the first half, but he was clearly still being bothered by that limp. The other thing was Cam Dorner walked off the field toward the end of the half with an injury. Now, he walked off on his own power, didn't look to be super bothered by whatever was causing his injury, but that could be huge, especially for the Shepherd passing game, to go possibly to the backup quarterback Ezra Bajent and then possibly to some backup receivers where they have a little bit more depth, or at least a little bit more proven depth. Obviously, Bajent was a great quarterback in Martinsburg and has the name, so you still believe in him, I feel like, if Shepherd has to turn to him, but we haven't seen him at the college level have a whole lot of opportunities.
And this will be a pretty big opportunity for him. Second half, your team is down
If he's coming in.
If he's coming in. Yeah, we just see him warming up on the sideline, so strictly speculation at this point. You talk about Dorner coming into today's game. He's leading the team in catches. 52 catches for 702 yards, 5 touchdowns. Also, will give you a big play on kick return as well. So if Dorner's not able to go, he's going to hurt you on offense and on special teams. So, again, some big questions loom going here into the second half.
Short kick fielded around the 15-yard line, and Seton Hill's got a lane, but the Rams are able to track it down at the 45. Our second half kickoff was brought to you by the personal injury attorneys Burke, Schultz, Harmon, and Jenkinson. Visit burkeandschultz.com. We play hardball. And big return that time from the Griffins. Dimitri Whitehead, who we saw on defense, make a big hit on a sack on Powell, which might have been the play even that Powell got injured on. Not exactly sure about that, but it feels like that was about when it happened. Here's a pass from Cruz, complete quickly, and Harold O'Neal will make the tackle. There's Cody Rubrick, who we saw earlier make a nice short catch, and there he's able to catch and run and set up this offense on their first play from scrimmage from the second half.
And Rubrick coming into today's game had 22 catches for 313 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also had 6 carries for 22 yards. And like we mentioned earlier, also gives you that ability to have a trick play in your bag because he also has 3 pass completions, 3 for 3, 88 yards, and a touchdown as well.
2nd and 2, Cruz under some heat, and he's going to be brought down on the sack.
That was Cuoca with the bear paw. He just snatched him down by the hand warmer. Wasn't going to let him get out of the pocket that time. Cruz was able to escape earlier in the first half, but no such luck on that play.
Yeah, Queen looked like he might have gotten involved as well, but yes, Cuoca leading the way for Shepherd there to make it a 3rd down and 8 here for this Seton Hill offense. Cruz dumps it down out of the backfield to Craggett. Craggett's going to be tackled short of the first down sticks, and we'll most likely see here a punt from Seton Hill.
And again, Seton Hill, they're doing a good job of playing to their advantage. They know that the defense is going to have to respect Phillips outside. So that means those corners are going to have to drop out of there. Those linebackers are also going to have to be aware of where Phillips is because they're going to have to buzz out and maybe try to help out underneath, and that's going to leave the flats wide open. So we've seen Seton Hill use that swing pass to get the ball onto the flats to the running back a couple of times with great success.
A little bit of a high snap, but punter not shaken by it. Here's Miles Greer catching it.
He's got a blocker.
The run. Greer gets a block, spins it into a tackle by the punter.
Good block downfield that time by Harrison, leading the convoy. And again, you see why teams do everything they can to try to avoid kicking the ball to Greer, because when he gets the ball in his hands, those are the type of things that can happen. So you'll see the punter's like, I'm not kicking it towards him anymore.
Excuse me, that was Drew Zimmerman who made the tackle, who's been reinstated into the game. At halftime, we found out that they reviewed the targeting and they overturned the call. So Zimmerman back into the game now at safety, and he made the tackle on the punt return there. As I saw the 4 and thought it was our punter, but not the case. It was number 24, Zimmerman, who's back in the game. So that's big storyline. Like you said, he was a backup safety to start the year, so you would be down to your third string free safety. But they overturned that call, meaning he'll finish this game out unless he were to get another targeting, of course. But
and again,
hope that doesn't happen.
Like watching Shepherd all season long and seeing how they had players ejected from the game and not getting any type of review process, I feel a certain kind of way about him getting put back into the game after a very similar play there in the first half.
I guess it all comes down to capabilities of review it's another run for Brown. But by the way, Ezra Bajent has checked into the ball game. He is the quarterback for Shepherd after the injury to Lek Powell. So,
and you figure at this point in the season, Powell's, hey, the bumps and bruises have added up. He got sacked 5 times last week, so it may just be an accumulation of punishment at this point for Powell.
Looks like a face mask going against Seton Hill to add on to that run. And, I mean, for Shepherd, even though, like they said, they want to send their seniors out right with a victory and all that stuff, there's no reason for them not to get a look at Bajent as well. So if it's not, necessarily that Powell's banged up enough here, maybe he could compete if he had to. But, I mean, you're not playing for anything really at this point other than that senior class. So why not take a look at Ezra Bagent in a game? So here's a run here for Malachi Brown. He'll scamper forward.
Schussler there and on the tackle, the 6'2", 230-pound redshirt junior from Westminster, Maryland.
So far.
And again, Powell has done a solid job at quarterback, but has he done enough where he has earned the job going forward into next year?
Right.
Or do you have something where there could be an open quarterback competition going into the offseason?
Well, Malachi Brown will run forward for positive yardage. So far, though, they have yet to throw the ball since Bagent has checked into the game. So very content to run the football. The penalty helping on this drive as well. Jordan Barnett's checked into the game for 3rd down and 1. Now would be the time to possibly throw it because everything says that you're going to run it with Barnett.
In Big 44, Jack Rosnich checking into the game. You also have your tight end in the game. So everything, like you said, is screaming run-heavy look.
3rd and 1. Shotgun formation. Barnett is the back. They will feed him, and Barnett will get the first down as he rolls forward for that first. Jordan Barnett, of course, the big physical running back, has had a good season, but it's definitely been an interesting one for Barnett. He had the hand injury at the beginning of the year that kind of got him off to a slow start, but since he's been healthy, he's kind of taken over as the main bell cow back when they needed a guy to consistently feed the football, even though he doesn't start and usually takes a little bit to get into the game. But Barnett here, another big hole, and the Rams just running right at Seton Hill, and they haven't had much answers for it on this drive, Travis.
Again, it's always a good decision to run behind Wyatt Pelicano. And again, they're just reestablishing that line of scrimmage, pushing back that defensive line. Smaller group up front for Seton Hill, so no reason for Shepherd not to impose that size advantage.
Bagent again hands it off, but this time Cohen and that defense of Seton Hill was there to stop Barnett for no gain. Josh Cohen's had a huge game from the defensive end spot, has a pass deflection. James Bell, by the way, back into the game at center, so you lose Powell, but you get your center back, which helps this offensive line, obviously, that's dealt with so many injuries up front. Bell's been in and out of the lineup. Of course, you've had the Ty Lucas injury before the season even started. And then Josh Crummett got hurt as well, so both your guards have been out all year. Jefferson has enough experience that you feel good about how he's going to fill in. Lucas Michael's done, or I'm sorry, not Lucas Michael, he's the backup center. Caleb Herb's done his best out there, the other guard, but obviously a younger guy. You would have had that senior leadership in Lucas, who's top 100 preseason player as well. So that was a very tough loss for the Rams.
And again, just putting a lot of pressure on that depth and just really putting an emphasis on the versatility because you're going to have to put guys in different places that they're not used to. So critical situation coming up for this Shepherd offense. 3rd and about 5. Again, you got the news. You got the center. You have the original center back in there, but now you have a different signal caller.
Yes.
So it kind of makes you kind of worried if you want to go a hard count or something like that where maybe he changes a play and that's an unfamiliar voice behind that offensive line. So putting a lot of pressure on Shepherd to avoid a possible unforced error and pick up a penalty with a false start if they do try to use that hard count.
We've yet to see Bagent attempt a pass on this drive. It's 3rd down and about 6 or 5, depending on where exactly that spot is. Down there at about the 9-yard line. Barnett is the back to the left. Brown is the back to the right. And now they'll spread them out. Everything is looking like you're screened to Malachi Brown, but Bagent lost the football, and now he's going to be brought down in the backfield. Malachi Brown and the fullbacks, I guess you would call them at this point, Fisher and Rosnage both went out wide, setting up clearly a screen pass there. So, pretty predictable play, but then as Bagent went to throw the football, he lost it, fumbled it, picked it up, was able to get back on top of it, and the good thing is Shepherd can still get a field goal and tie this game. But not the first play you wanted where you attempted a pass from your young quarterback, Ezra Bagent, in this game.
Oh, snap.
Short kick for Baker, and the kick is up and good. As the 28-yard field goal is good, and we're tied at 10 with 8:48 to go here in this third quarter. We'll take a 1-minute break. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
After a car accident, what do you get when you call Mansion Ferretti?
You get more experience from a local law firm with over 115 years of combined service.
More respect from a team who treats clients like their own family.
And more fight, because we want you to get every dollar you deserve.
Experience, respect, results. If you've been injured, that's what you want in your lawyer.
And that's what you'll get when you call us. Car accident? Get more with Mansion Ferretti. 304-264-8505.
Welcome you back here to Greensburg, Pennsylvania, home of the Seton Hill Griffins. And on this kickoff return, it's Whitehead. Whitehead showing some explosiveness, gets it out to about the 31-yard line. 10-10 our score, 8:40 left here in this third quarter. And on that drive for Shepherd, it was 9 plays, 42 yards. They took 4:09 off the clock, resulting in the Keith Baker 28-yard field goal that was up and good to tie this game at 10 here in this third quarter. Quick moving third quarter, already 8:40 left in the third. Our scoring drives are brought to you by Floor Pools. Make every day better with a hot tub or swimming pool. Floor Pools has locations in Martinsburg, Chambersburg, and Hagerstown, including a brand new pop-up location in the Valley Mall.
That time, Craig trying to bounce it outside, and that speedy Shepherd defense quick to recognize it, and J.T. Comian gets the tackle for a loss. And going back to that previous drive for Shepherd, that was a tough pass attempt for your first pass attempt for Ezra Bajan, because that's a ball that has to come out of your hands quickly, which means you're not going to have enough time to get your hands on the laces. You're just trying to get the snap and fire it out as quick as you can, and just wasn't able to get a clean handle on the ball before attempting that first pass.
Pass over the middle is incomplete. Miles Greer was in coverage as they wanted their big play receiver. But pass was incomplete and intended for Todd Phillips there, as Phillips has been relatively quiet in this game, Travis, so that's definitely been a positive for Shepherd.
And again, he doesn't need many touches to impact the game.
True.
So you can be confident of the fact that you've denied him the ball for the most part, but you don't want to sleep on it because he can change it.
Screen, and
that's
caught by an offensive lineman, which should be an ineligible receiver, or illegal touching. I thought for a second Dante Harrison was going to pick it off, and if there wasn't illegal touching, he would have. So it's a good play by the guard.
He's been asking the coaches for that play all year long. It's like, Coach, just give me a chance. I'll show you what I can do.
Our third quarter brought to you by Smallwood and Small Insurance in Martinsburg, your total insurance solution at 1250 Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg. Call 304-263-3361, as well as Parsons Ford of Martinsburg, located at 1400 Shepherdstown Road, and online at ParsonsFord.com. They became #1 by making you #1 first, Parsons.
So illegal touching, loss of down. But again, you really can't fault the lineman for doing what he did. I mean, you take the penalty, you lose it down, but what you don't do, it would have been picked off, and Harrison probably would have still he'd been waiting in the end zone at this point. So, again, we've talked about it. Seton Hill, this has been something that has plagued them all year long, is issues with penalties, and you certainly see why over the course of the game that they've picked up some pretty big penalties at critical times today.
4th and 19, the punt. Again, trying to get it away from Miles Greer as it heads out of bounds. They'll give up a little bit of yardage if it results in no big punt return. So they'll set up Shepherd, though, at the 35-yard line. And the Rams will get ready for another drive with Ezra Bajan at quarterback after the injury to the starter, Lek Powell. So the Rams will have it at the 35. Bajan will jog his way back onto the field. Jeremiah Taylor, their wide receiver, to the near side. For the Rams, looks like Barry Hill is the receiver to the far side.
Again, got the heavy run look, tight end. Jack Rosnage in at that wing position.
And here's the run. Malachi Brown very patient through the hole, finds a few yards before he's brought down. Cohen again, the first one there for Seton Hill.
And we talked about the adjustment that the O-line's going to have to make, listening to the voice of a new signal caller. Also, another adjustment that we haven't mentioned yet is the steps in the run game between the quarterback and the running back. The ones are going to work with the ones when you go to that mesh period, and the quarterbacks and running backs are working on those handoff spots, and certain guys are going to like it in certain places, so you're going to have to see those guys try to, get a feel for that on the run. Again, a tough spot to get thrown in a very competitive game this late in the season.
Bagent now looking to throw on 2nd down and 8. Bagent steps up, dumps it down in the flat, complete to Swinehart. Swinehart spinning away from the defense and brought down at the 39. Zimmerman makes the tackle. Good play there at time from Ezra Bagent. Stepped up in the pocket and delivered an accurate ball.
And those are the type of plays that's going to help him get a little bit more comfortable out there on the field. Let him move around some. Let him use that mobility and use some easy checkdowns. Use those running backs, as we said. Barnett, Brown, Swinehart all have capable hands out of the backfield. So, again, just get your quarterback comfortable, get him into a rhythm, get some confidence going, and then you can maybe start to open up the playbook a little bit more and start attacking down the field.
2 backs in the backfield before 1st and 10 from the 38. Low snap. Bagent under some heat. Now trying to look deep down the field. Throws a comeback and incomplete. Intended for Baden. No penalty on the play as Whitehead was in coverage. Looked like he probably got there a little bit early, but surprisingly, no flag against the Seton Hill defense. 5:59 left here in this third quarter.
And Batten could have did a better job of helping out his quarterback and working back to the ball on that play. They did a good job once they saw that he was in trouble. He was scrambling around trying to find somebody that was open. Batten was open, and he kind of just waited for the ball to get to him. You got to work back to the ball and help your quarterback out sometimes.
So back in the backfield is Swinehart. Bagent throws a floater. Barry Hill comes back and tries to make the catch, but he couldn't haul it in bounds, and it'll bring up 3rd and 10. Travis, a point I was going to make to a point you made earlier about the backfield. The good thing is Shepherd uses a lot of different running backs, so Bagent's probably worked with all of them at times in the second unit, you would think, since they go 3 running backs deep. So
that is true. It's a good point. But again, like in the game, it's a little bit tighter. It's a little bit quicker.
You have that more chemistry with Powell, obviously, because you've gotten those handoffs from him. But
just that familiarity.
In particular, pregame, you see a lot of different backs kind of rotating in and out. So if they're running some plays with both teams.
So not as quite a steep a learning curve as far as the steps in the chemistry in the backfield.
But 3rd and 10. And the Rams burn their first timeout here of the third quarter with 5:52 to go. We're tied at 10. Let's take a 30-second break. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How can I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm John Everson, private wealth advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343. to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
Sun's come out, so always a good sign. It's been kind of a
just an overcast day so far. A little cool.
Typical
good football weather.
Typical Pennsylvania day. Honestly. I mean, it feels like every time we're traveling in the PSAC. It's just overcast.
Yeah, you're going to get weather.
Yeah, it's just depressing, it feels like, when we travel through it. I mean, now that the sun's out, it's a pretty nice view here at Seton Hill. You got, of course, the city in the backfield like we talked about. So, a lot better to have the sun out here for 3rd down and 10 from the 38. Bagent will just hand it off to Malachi Brown. There is a flag on that far sideline. But that is in the direction of something actually against the defense. Looks like it's going to be offsides against Seton Hill. So that's going to be a big penalty. Puts Shepherd in a possibility to try to convert here on a 3rd and 5 opposed to 3rd and 10.
That time, I believe Dimitri Whitehead may have been the guilty party, lining up in the neutral zone, just trying to get a good jam on the wide receiver. Again, he's listed as a strong safety, but they use him all over. Now they have him in that nickel corner spot. That previous play, he was lined up out wide on Batten. So talented defender. You can use him in so many different ways.
Batten motion from right to left. Bajent looking for Batten. He makes the catch underneath and gets close to the sticks. And it looks like they're going to move the chains. You're seeing a lot more Batten here with Bajent on the field. I wonder how much that maybe has to do with their chemistry as a possibility.
Because they've worked probably a lot together.
Also, we did see the injury to Dorner, so that's probably it as well. And Batten had a solid freshman season, just hasn't been used as much this year. Here's Malachi Brown, though, on the run.
Oh, don't bounce it.
They're trying to bounce outside.
Not every play needs to be a home run, but most of your home runs are going to come when you're running north and south. And that time, Malachi Brown, you could see his eyes get a little bit wider when he saw that open space. But if he would have put his foot in the ground and got north and south, probably would have picked up a few more yards. But again, you can't blame him. He's got the speed to make those type of plays. So sometimes you got to take the good with the bad. And that time, it wasn't that bad. That was a pretty good chunk run on first down.
Yeah, 4-yard gain there on the play. 2nd down and 6 here from the 24. 4:25 to go in this third quarter. Another high snap, and Bajent handles it. Gives it to Jordan Barnett, and Barnett
just dragging bodies down. Didn't quite get the first down, but
gets 4, though. Brings up 3rd and 2.
He also brought about 4 defenders with him on that play. We have an injured Seton Hill player down on the ground.
Yeah, injury here, so let's go ahead and take a 30 again here, tied at 10 with 4:11 to go in this third quarter. We're back in 30 seconds.
W. Harley Miller Systems understands the need and desire for reliable and affordable smart home solutions. Secure your home with a security system and keep a close eye on your family. Automate your home with a Control4 system and have smart technology work as one. Set daily schedules to control your thermostats. Push a button and set the mood for dinner by dimming lights and playing music, or just sit back and enjoy a movie in your own home theater. Put decades of experience to work for you. Visit us at WHMsystems.com or call 304-350-1931.
Looking back here to Seton Hill, we have an injury on the field. So, Travis, overall, though, the Rams have had some success in the second half, especially running the football and establishing that ground game.
And again, Malachi Brown just running very aggressive here so far today. And again, we talked about how they've used all their running backs today. And like you can really look at the success of the offense has been that 3-headed monster in the backfield for Shepherd. Swinehart's made some plays. Barnett has made some big plays. And now Malachi Brown is, saying it's his turn to make some plays here in the second half. And it looks like that's going to be defensive end Josh Cohen that's coming off. And look like they're helping him with his left arm. He has a brace on it, but may not have been enough, and that's in a position usually of a shoulder or a collarbone, but he's been a big player for the Griffins so far today on defense.
He has definitely made some impact plays, but here's a 3rd and 3 for the Rams. Barnett and Brown are the backs. 4:05 left in a rolling clock. Bajent hands it off to Brown. Brown has the first down, sheds off some tacklers, and heads out of bounds. Nice run that time for Malachi Brown, and not trying to do too much. Travis is following his blockers.
And again, that's all you need to do. They're doing a good job of getting those running lanes on the outside. And you tell your running back the same thing you tell your quarterback. Take what the defense gives you, and if you keep hitting those consistent plays, the good stuff's going to happen. That's something that Coach McCook has always talked about, something that he's always preached, is make those ordinary plays extraordinary, and that's what Malachi Brown was able to do on that last play.
So they keep the 2 backs in the backfield look. Barry Hill is the only receiver. Here's that same setup that they ran last time they were in this exact same situation.
Go with a quick screen.
But this time they'll run it off of that look with Jordan Barnett. You figured they weren't going to go to the same call. That would be a little bit, it already looks kind of predictable when you do that, So, and it may be something where they're putting the onus on the quarterback to make that read. Yeah,
are you going to pull it and throw it out there? Or if you see a certain look, you go ahead and hand it off. But you got a running back like Barnett. It's hard not to put the ball in his belly and see what he can do down this close to the goal line.
2nd down and 8 now for Shepherd. They can get a first down without getting into the end zone. Ezra Bajent looks to the sideline. Bajent with 2:50 left, trying to get the win for Shepherd, tied at 10 between the Rams and the Griffins. Barnett now moves to the left to Bajent. They'll hand it to Barnett. He sheds off one tackler, tries to get into the end zone, gets it down to about the 2. Zimmerman makes the tackle for Seton Hill, and now will be third down.
See, Shepherd, there's nothing fancy about it. They're running where Cohen used to be. But Cohen seems like he's gotten checked out by the team doctors. He's about ready to make his way back out onto the field, but he's been a force today, and Shepherd trying to take advantage of the fact that he's not in the game just now.
3rd and 1 from about the 3-yard line. Had to get to the 2 to get a first down. Barnett is the back. Hill goes in motion. Bajent will just feed Jordan Barnett, and off the edge, it's Whitehead. Making a heck of a play. Excuse me. Not Whitehead on that tackle.
Richard Johnson Jr.
Richard Johnson Jr., yes, the backup to Drew Zimmerman, who we mentioned was back into the game. So just a great play.
Yeah, Richard Johnson Jr. coming in hard off the edge, 5'9", 190-pound redshirt senior.
Didn't matter, though. He still beat Barnett to the spot, and the Rams are going to go for it. 4th and 1 for Shepherd. Ezra Bajent under center.
Oh,
he takes the snap, and Barnett, or one of the Rams moved early. Yeah, it was Barnett. Trying to get that push.
They're in Philadelphia. I mean, we're in the state of Pennsylvania. Why not?
Yeah,
it works.
On the opposite end of the state, but yes, we are in Pennsylvania, not Philadelphia. Closer to Pittsburgh now, where, I mean, Russell Wilson drew an offsides the other day.
Man,
against
that was
your
tough.
Commanders.
Everybody in the stadium is saying, don't jump off sides, and then the one guy that's lined up over the ball jumps off sides.
Classic.
Rookie.
Keith Baker on to attempt the field goal now for the Rams to try to put them up 13-10. It's a 25-yard kick, and the kick is up, and it is good. So Baker nails the field goal, and the Rams have the lead for the first time here today. 13-10 over Seton Hill. We're back in 1 minute. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10.
Drive More Days is back at Carter Myers Automotive. And this year, we'll keep you rolling with a $1,000 gas card. Visit any of our locations to take a test drive, and we'll enter you into a drawing to win a $1,000 gas card. With that kind of money, fill up at the pump for the rest of the year, completely on us. Stop in during Drive More Days for your chance to win a $1,000 gas card. Only at Carter Myers Automotive. Owners just care more.
I pre-planned my funeral to make it easier on my family. They were relieved to know I'll get just what I want.
My family actually thanked me for taking matters into my own hands. Turns out having this awkward conversation wasn't awkward at all.
Pre-planning is my choice. There are certain things about me my family may not know. Now they won't need to guess.
The choices are yours. The peace of mind is theirs. Pre-plan your funeral with Brown Funeral Homes and everything will be taken care of. Find out more online at brownfuneralhomeswv.com. Brown Funeral Homes, here for you.
Rams will kick it away after the scoring drive. Field goal up and good from Baker from 25 yards out. They said 13-10. Baker kicks it inside the 10-yard line. And the Rams get to it at the 21. Naeem Alexander makes the tackle. Williams on the kick return there for Seton Hill. 1:05 left to go in this third quarter. Shepherd's in the lead now, Travis, at 13-10. The scoring drive, 12 plays, 57 yards, 6:26 off the clock. Rams burning a lot of time here in the second half as well. But our scoring drives are brought to you by Floor Pools. Make every day better with a hot tub or swimming pool. Floor Pools has locations in Martinsburg, Chambersburg, and Hagerstown, including a brand new pop-up location in the Valley Mall. 13-10 Shepherd.
Jumbo look this time from the Griffins, and you see why. Good run up the middle, but there's going to be a holding penalty. And from the pile of bodies in the backfield, I believe the guilty party is going to be Paul Newell. Got a little bit too much of JT Comeau's jersey. And again, the offensive lineman certainly has a size advantage. 6'3", 295 pounds going up against the much smaller JT Comeau, but Comeau has shown throughout this season he certainly punches above his weight. and hard to contain when he's out there on the edge using that speed and athleticism to just give those offensive linemen fits week in and week out.
Shepherd has doubled its time of possession in this third quarter alone compared to what they had at halftime. Now up to 24 minutes of time of possession compared to Seton Hill's 19:34. So the Rams controlling the football with that running game here in the second half. Over 140 yards on the ground so far today.
And again, another jumbo look this time by the Griffins. Only one wide receiver out.
Despite it being 1st and 20. And they run a toss play. Craggett trying to get to the edge. Brody Carroll meets him. That's just great play from really both sides. But, I mean, you see Carroll there just reading it all the way and getting in perfect positioning.
His motor does not stop. He's just a fun football player to watch. He's got the best hair in the business, so he's easy to pick out as an announcer. I like it when he makes plays because I know who made the play. But that time, just a heavy run look, so you're expecting him to run up the middle, but then they send a back in motion, does a good job of getting a kick-out block on the edge, and Craggett able to pick up some positive yards to try to chip away at being in a big hole after that holding penalty on first down.
6-yard gain, pass complete, wide open is the wide receiver. He has the first down and more. There he is again, Todd Phillips. We talked about him earlier, and Phillips makes a big play as he's been quiet throughout the game today.
And give credit to the big tight end, Ethan Fame, on that play. He did a good job of running a hitch underneath of that, and that made the defense have to come up. They have to respect his pass-catching ability, and once they did that, that kind of created that gap for Cruz to get that ball in over the top, and Phillips was able to do the rest, and looks like the Seton Hill sidelines has got a warning. There's really not too much you can do as far as a get-back coach on that sideline. There's not a lot of space.
Yeah.
You have guys sitting up on the bench. The benches are pushed all the way up against the fence, and it's not a lot of room. Those are some large individuals down there. That would be a tight box for a peewee football team, let alone a college football team.
Yeah, it is a high school stadium here.
I already feel bad for those high school coaches because they're having to tell their players get back every single play.
Right. I mean, doesn't make it really too much of a difference. Yeah. But, yeah, I mean.
You're not going to get your guys to stand in a single file line over here on the sidelines.
Or, of course, you have the area where you can't even go, which I'm sure is an issue as well. It always is an issue for any team. But that will do it for the third quarter of play. So we'll head to the fourth with Shepherd in the lead here, 13-10, but we'll keep it here since we had a lot of things to discuss about sideline depth. So important stuff. Travis wants to redesign the stadium. I'm with him. You need a little bit more room. I mean, this is definitely the smallest sideline I've ever seen.
Yeah, there's no room.
So feel for those guys down there. But first down and 10 from the 45, and here's Williams up the gut. Gets a few yards. Shepherd doing a good job of stacking it up. Looks like Bednarski was at the bottom of that pile.
Carroll's also in there.
Yeah, Brody Carroll, a guy we talked about his motor and how he's contributed to the team now in multiple ways. Shepherd had an injury to its long snapper, and Carroll's taken over that role as well. So anybody has to play special teams at Shepherd, and Brody Carroll filling in as the long snapper, and you wouldn't really notice too much of a drop-off. It's been a good season for him in that spot as well.
Ooh,
oh, big hit, Jack Brutus. Whew. Man, there's been some big hits today, Travis.
Man, my collision of the game is going to be some decisions.
The entire game.
Yeah.
The Cody's collision game. You're going to have to name it. It's a 5-yard carry here out the midfield, but maybe it's because we're just closer to the field so we can hear it all.
That's what it is.
Since the sideline's not very big, we're pretty much on the field, it feels like, here in the press box. 3rd down and 5. $13:43 to go in this fourth quarter. 3rd down and 5. They'll run Williams, and again, the Rams are there. Maybe a yard on the play. JT Komayau makes the tackle. 13 and a half minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Seton Hill now draws a flag against Shepherd. Is this unsportsmanlike against the Rams? I believe that's what it would be.
And again, if you didn't know coming into today's game, just judging by today's game, you would not be able to tell the record of either one of these teams. Like, neither one of these teams are playing like they're having a down year. Both of these guys, they're playing like everything is on the line. I mean, essentially it is. It's your last game of the year. You want to go out with a win. Seniors on both sides want to go out with a win today, and looks like the penalty will be against that Shepherd defense, and that's just a critical mistake in a bad situation. You did a good job stopping them, forcing them possibly to punt, and then you give them new life and a fresh set of downs when you let your emotions spill over like that. So, again, things are getting a bit chippy, but you're going to have to maintain your poise down the stretch. This is a close ball game, and a penalty like that could really swing the momentum.
Yeah. I mean, Shepherd's battled back here in the second half to take a lead. They've controlled time of possession. They were going to get the ball back with just over 13 minutes left and have a chance to do even more, but now Cruz has it, and he fires a dart over the middle. G.O.D. Tolbert makes the tackle. Again, it's Cody Rubrick hauling it in for the Griffins. Slot receiver. Cruz clearly, I mean, he has a strong arm. He can make those kind of throws. It's just they haven't been consistent throughout the season throwing the football.
And he was just able, he had a clean pocket. It was good pass protection. Shepherd electing to use coverage and trying to make him throw the ball into tight windows, and that time he was able to call the defense's bluff and able to deliver a strike right there to pick up the first down.
So they're in the red zone now to the 17-yard line, first down at 10. Craggett is the back. They'll hand it off. Shepherd does an excellent job again. Miles Greer, the first one there, but the Rams having to clean it up with Carroll and a few others. Bring up second down.
And again, this Rams defense, they are so fast at moving to the ball and coming up and making those tackles. And Craggett, good running back, certainly has speed to make plays outside the tackle box, but not to his advantage to try that today against this defensive unit. So athletic, and they do such a good job of just making open field tackles.
Physical formation on the field here. They try a toss play, Carroll all over it, and then the Rams track it down. Great play by the Shepherd defense. Kwoka, the man there again.
He's letting it all hang out today. He's had a heck of a game, and that was a very similar play to what Seton Hill ran when they were pinned down on their own goal line, coming out in that heavy run look, only one wide receiver out. Then they send the running back in motion. And what they're trying to do, they're going to read his block. Either he can kick out that outside defender, or he's going to try to get a log block and try to seal him to the inside and trying to get Crackett out on the edge. But again, when you're trying to use speed versus Shepherd's speedy defense, chances are it's probably not going to come out in your favor.
Give credit to Cutchin as well, wearing number 92 today. Thanks to Chip Ransom for letting me know about that before the game. As Cruz looks over the middle. Big hit, and it's intercepted by the Rams. G.O.D. Tolbert. Miles Greer delivered the boom, and G.O.D. Tolbert picked it off. Fame was the intended receiver, the tight end, and the Rams defense comes through with a huge turnover here in the fourth quarter. And there's your collision of the game, Travis.
Could be your play of the game.
Could be your play of the game. Could be the game, as it possibly puts Shepherd in control, at least, of their own destiny here in this final game of the year. 11 minutes to go. A Miles Greer big hit and a Gio Tolbert interception. That safety duo, very talented, Travis.
Absolutely, and Gio Tolbert has filled in and played great football this year, and that time that was one of the biggest plays he's made all year long for this Shepherd defense. And again, you have different guys stepping up, making plays, and just that versatility, again, shining on that defensive side of the ball for the Shepherd Rams.
11:06 left here in this fourth quarter. The Rams lead it 13-10. Ezra Bajent in for the injured Lek Powell. He's managed the game from this point forward with Barry Hill now trying to get to the edge. Hill does fight forward, gets about a yard or two on the play. It looked like he was not going to go anywhere.
It looked like it was possibly going to be a loss, but Hill able to find a crease over there and pick up some hard-earned yards, or a hard-earned yard, I should say. But again, you back up Seton Hill, you put them in that third and long situation. Again, they do not have a efficient passing attack. So you put something where they're going to have to rely on some type of precision in the passing game, and the ball was there. It was a little bit late, and Greer was just able to lower the boom that time and create the turnover, the much-needed turnover for Shepherd.
Swinehart trying to fight forward. He finds a hole. Good run on the play.
Big third
Richie
down.
McCormick makes the tackle. for Seton Hill.
I say McCormick.
3rd and 7.
We haven't called his name a lot, and again, he's one of the leading tacklers.
I think he's been injured, honestly. He's kind of been, or at least he's got that foot really taped.
Yeah, that is heavy tape on that foot, and you also
he's kind of standing off by himself earlier, so I wasn't sure if maybe he was dealing with an injury. But go ahead, Travis.
But Boone, I was like, Boone has been the big name. We've said his name a lot today. So big 3rd down.
3rd and 7 here from the 34. 9:50 left here in this 4th quarter. Shepherd hanging on to a 3-point lead. What do they do here on 3rd and 7? They'll let Bajan throw it. It's a pass underneath, complete to Jordan Barnett.
Oh, good open field
Barnett,
tackle.
though, tackled in space by Wyatt Schussler. And that will bring up the punt.
And again, you got some rangy linebackers for this Seton Hill defense. Schussler coming into today's game. 32 tackles, 13 of those solo. Also has 4.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, and 1 fumble recovery. And again, the play looked promising at the beginning, but some speedy linebackers for Seton Hill able to force the punt.
Barrick just barely gets it away on the punt.
It's a beaut.
And it will bounce at the 11-yard line, but take a favorable bounce for Seton Hill and then be down at around the 15. So Shepherd flips the field. They do their job after the interception. Miles Greer with the big hit, and then G.O.D. Tolbert picks it off for Shepherd. And only 8:58 left, so they were able to burn about 2 minutes as well. So they did some good things, even though the drive didn't last very long.
And again, you're put in a tough situation because you have a young signal caller coming in off the bench. You're in your own territory. I'm like, are you going to let him drop back and try to read that defense and make a play, and then possibly something goes wrong? I like the play call. You do the swing pass out to Malachi Brown, very tough out of the backfield. And the defense stepped up and made a play. So again, you didn't make a mistake. You didn't have to make the play on that drive. You just didn't need to make the big mistake.
JT Comayau coming in and making a big tackle. Yeah, you mentioned Bajan, of course, in for the injured left pound. The other thing is, once you get to this level, it's tough to develop that quarterback. They're not getting any real game action except for late in games that don't matter, and Shepherd hasn't been in a lot of those situations. So Bajan really hasn't played since high school in some ways. Significant playing time, at least. So to enter a football game that you haven't really played in some time, even though you practice every day and stuff like that, it's just you can't simulate that.
Yeah, we're going to put you in a game with a lot of emotion riding on it.
Yes.
It's the season finale. At that point in time, you were trailing, and you're in a hostile environment. There's just a lot of people in this stadium, so he's getting the full experience here of college football today.
3rd down and 13. Play action pass. Cruz under duress. Now
a lot of
rolling
time
to the right. Carroll trying to chase him down. He floats it down the field. Harold O'Neal.
He catches it, but it's out of bounds.
Foot in, no. But great effort by O'Neal. Either way, Shepherd should get the ball around there, as it will be 4th and 13, and they'll punt it. So he can definitely get it to the 40-yard line. So, I mean, hey, it's essentially a punt, even if he did haul it in.
And I'm not sure why Cruz makes that throw. He's a senior quarterback. He should know better. Yes, it's 3rd and long, and you would like to try to get a first down, but there's no reason to risk it all. You're only down by 3.
Yes.
7:36 left on the clock. You still got 2 timeouts. Your defense has been pretty tough all day. Again, sometimes making the play is just not making the bad play.
Well, yeah, I guess if you're Cruz, too, what do I have to lose?
Yeah.
My last ever game.
He's taking the Zimmerman approach.
Well, Zimmerman got a second chance.
Yeah.
$7:34 left. 13-10 Shepherd, who trailed at halftime 10-7. The Rams defense has made some huge plays in the second half, and Shepherd's just ran the football and has found ways to move the ball in the second half and take their first lead now at 13-10 with 7:34 left. Here's a punt from the end zone, which is always dangerous. Shepherd got close but didn't quite get there. Miles Greer will field it at the 49-yard line, and that's where Shepherd will take over. And a smart play there from Alexander. He possibly could have dived out and could have contended for a block, but if you run into that kicker there in the end zone, I mean, that's just a huge penalty. So he smartly slowed down there.
Yep. Sometimes making the play means not making the bad play.
Yeah. So good field position here for Shepherd. 7:27 to go here in this fourth quarter, and what's been an interesting ball game throughout. These two teams' seasons are over after this week. They've left it all on the field here today. Bajent looking to throw. Nobody in the backfield. Bajent looking deep for Malachi. Great catch by the converted receiver. Malachi Brown hauls it in. 26-yard line. That's his second big catch today, Travis.
That was over defensive back Quentin Posey, the 6'1", 220-pound junior. And again, Malachi Brown running that wheel route out of the backfield. You have to respect his pass catching ability. And that time, Bajent doing a good job of putting the ball in a good spot and allowing his wide receiver to make a play.
6:50 left. First down and 10 for the Rams. Here's Barnett. A little bit of timing. It looked like ball, and Barnett fumbled the football. Seton Hill now has it. James Bell will make the tackle. And guess who? Zimmerman recovers the fumble. Timing looked off on that play completely. Barnett never really had the handoff, I don't think.
And again, it's mesh, and that's something you can work on it in practice all you want, but that's still not going to simulate how it is going to be in the game. Everything is a little bit quicker, everything is a little bit tighter, and that time you don't have a lot of space back there in the backfield to begin with, and you're not sure if he was able to get that ball cleanly, but then Seton Hill just did a good job of coming up quickly on the ball, putting their hat on the ball, and then Barnett fumbles, and now we have an injured Shepherd player
James Bell, the center, who had to make the tackle there.
And
Shepherd dealing with injuries already there, so.
And a costly stop because now Shepherd, they did a good job of tackling the defender on that play. That looked like that's close to being a scoop and score.
Yeah.
And could have really switched things around as far as the outcome of this game. So Shepherd able to get the stop, but at a high cost if it cost them Bell for the remainder of the game.
Yeah, I mean, in that situation, when you have a safety running with the football and the only people that are really in his way are offensive linemen and a quarterback, you kind of expect it to be a scoop and score. So great job by the Rams to quickly, after making the mistake, obviously you don't ever want to fumble, but you make that mistake and you still are able to stop them from scoring, which is something that you have to be proud of. But for James Bell, I mean, this is, again, his last game. He's been the leader of this offensive line the last 2 seasons. Veteran guy, part of this group of linemen that, have kind of grown together. They all have their different backgrounds. You got Wyatt Pelicano, James Bell. Of course, Ty Lucas was lost before the season due to injury. But they've all, and Curtis Jefferson as well, have come into Shepherd at the same time. And you can tell, obviously, his fellow linemen very concerned, and Bell has been just fighting through these injuries the last few weeks, and that's tough to see.
And, offensive line, it is a tough, gritty job, so you have those fellas that are working together. Offensive linemen are usually off working in their own group for most of the practice, so you certainly build up that camaraderie over the course of years, and like you mentioned, they've been working together for years, won a lot of ball games together, so a lot of concern as he had to be helped off the sidelines.
1st and 10 here from the 47-yard line. 6:40 left. And Seton Hill's got another opportunity to regain or tie this ball, regain the lead or tie the game. And here's the reverse play. Well, we mentioned a possible trick play. Nice run on the reverse from Cody Rubricht, but I think there's going to be a holding call against Seton Hill. So Rubricht, though, we mentioned his ability to throw. They tried the reverse there with him. It worked, but
it could be
not
something
as big as it could have been, and it was a holding as well.
One, you need a lot of things to go right when you have those type of reverses. It's a slow developing play. You need the defense to bite on the initial fake in order for that reverse to work. And if anybody leaks in the backfield, chances are you're going to get penalties. And that's something, again, that we mentioned has been an issue for Seton Hill all year long. They've had a lot of issues with penalties. And But I will say this, they've shown that reverse. It's still it's late in the game, so it's kind of tough to set up a play this late in the game, but could be the setup for a possible trick play if it gets down to that desperation time.
Run there up the middle, gets about 4 or 5 yards there, so bring up a 2nd and long. O'Neal makes the tackle. 6 minutes left. Quick moving second half here between Shepherd and Seton Hill. Overall, it's been a pretty quick game. Second quarter was long, but other than that, we've been flying through this 13-10 contest. 5:45 left, but, I mean, obviously things now are going to get tight with the close score and everything. Pass there, incomplete. Miles Greer in coverage.
Hits him
First
right
time
in his
today,
hands.
intended for
Tayon
Battle.
Yep. Battle, one of those outstanding wide receivers in that group. Had 2 catches last week for 14 yards.
It's a veteran group, Travis. It's not a group that necessarily is always shown out for this team. They are a run-heavy football team, but they do have talent and experience at wide receiver.
I don't say he was covered up.
3rd and 16 here from the 41. Cruz pumps a few times, tries to run. Shepherd flies to it. There's Brody Carroll makes the tackle.
Just hog-ties him there at the 45-yard line.
So this will most likely bring out a punt for Seton Hill. Keep stepping on my cord there. Just stand away from it there. That's probably a better idea. But Jack Wagner on to punt. Greer is back deep to return this punt. And it's a well-executed punt. Greer will fair catch at the 19-20 yard line. 4:49 to go. Travis Shepherd's just trying to milk this clock and take this victory into the offseason, as it's been a crazy game. Quarterback like Powell left the game at halftime with an injury. Azerbaijan's come in. He hasn't lit the world on fire or anything, but he's done a nice job of at least managing the football game. It's been a tough situation. You can clearly tell that there's not a lot of chemistry out there with some of the key positions like running back
and that's where it's shown up the most. Yeah, you would think that maybe the passing game wouldn't quite be there, but he's thrown it a couple times and picked up a couple first downs. The issue has been it's just the mesh in the backfield between him and the running backs, just not being quite sure where to step when different running backs are in the game, and it's something that you got to get the reps and get a feel for it.
Flag here on the play, most likely some sort of penalty, illegal formation against Shepherd, I believe.
Yeah.
It's Malachi Brown took it around the edge. But it could also be lining up in the neutral zone, so we'll see. So I thought I heard from our Shepherd coaches that this will be 1st and 5. Yep, so it is against Seton Hill. Illegal substitution, so good call by the
running back on the field. So that means you only got one wide receiver out.
But with the injury to Powell and probably some limitations in their feelings about the passing game with the injury to Cam Dorner as well, this is kind of the offense, I feel like, at this point for Shepherd, and it's been effective. Yeah. Malachi Brown again running well. I mean, everybody knows that Shepherd wants to run the ball, but they're able to get close to the first down marker on 1st and 5, get it to a 2nd down and 1 after a 4-yard pickup. 4 minutes left. So, give credit to the Rams for, in the game where you would expect the offense to completely go away, they've still found a way to run the football despite everybody kind of knowing that's what they want to do.
And for a 13-10 football game, it's been entertaining as hell.
Yeah.
I mean, big plays, big hits, all kinds of stuff going on. This is a very entertaining football game.
Defensive battles can be good. Remember that. Azerbaijan hands it off. Here's a big hole for Brown. Spin move, and he gets the first down. That's one of those where Malachi may be doing a little bit too much, but it works for a first down run. Zimmerman again with the tackle. He's had a good game.
And again, Malachi Brown's not one to pass up an opportunity for a big play. And that was a good run right up the middle. Like Caleb Herb was the one that kind of created that huge lane for Malachi Brown to take advantage of. And now we're getting to the part where now there's going to be some some clock management, some gamesmanship now as Shepherd just keep the ball in bounds, put the pressure on Seton Hill to use those timeouts, and just very important lesson for Ezra Bajent and that offense to learn. Sometimes you got to manage the game. It isn't all about, explosive plays and putting points on the board. Sometimes when you're in a bare-knuckle boxing match, sometimes you just got to grit it out, salt that clock away, and learn how to manage a game and manufacture that win, so to speak.
3:29 left. 13-10. Seton Hill trails Shepherd here at Seton Hill. Rams have come back here in this second half. They were down 10-7 at halftime. And be able to run the football and control the clock. Really the story here of this second half as Bajent takes the snap and hands it off to Brown, who doesn't go too far. Good job by this defense of Seton Hill to stack it up.
And again, looks like Dakari Boone making his presence felt in the backfield.
And now Seton Hill having to burn its timeouts as they'll burn one here. Let's take a 30-second break. 13-10 our score. This is Shepherd Rams Football on TV 10.
The Skinner family has been representing West Virginians for more than 50 years.
We've changed the name of our firm to Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers because we want to be clear about what we do. We represent people who have been in car, truck, and other catastrophic accidents.
We're here to be a voice for the injured and vulnerable, and we take that job seriously with deep commitment to serving our clients wherever they are.
Just Google Skinner Accident Lawyer or visit SkinnerWins.com. We'll treat you like family.
13-10 our score. Shepherd leading Seton Hill. Seton Hill's out of timeouts, Travis, so they have the 2-minute timeout coming up in minute 20 as there's 3:20 left on the clock. So they still have some time to get back into it. It's a 2nd and 11, so they can stop them from getting the first down here. Obviously, Seton Hill will get the football back. If Shepherd can get a first down, they may still get it back, but it will be with way less time. And Ezra Bajent's going to keep it on the read option, spin around, and only get about 3 yards. So it'll be 3rd down and 8 with 3 minutes left. Again, they're out of timeouts. The good thing, I guess, for Seton Hill is that 2-minute timeout won't happen until after this snap. So it could happen when you're on offense and trying to move the ball down the field, which would be helpful. But either way, it's not going to happen on this play. So Shepherd can take it down to about 2:20 before they have to snap the football. And it's 3rd and 9. Can't expect much other than a run here, I would presume. But
again, it is great experience, great confidence builder if Shepherd's able to pull this one out.
And they run it, and Shepherd is stuffed. All over it was Josh Cohen and this defense.
And Boone was there. It's one or the other.
as well.
Yeah, it's one or the other. Those guys are just flying around making plays. And the Seton Hill defense, they've certainly played well enough for this team to win. Now they've put the onus back on their own offense. Can they go down there and make some plays? They're out of timeouts.
They do get the 2-minute timeout here, so that will stop the clock at exactly 2 minutes with our score. Shepherd 13, Seton Hill 10. We're back in 1 minute. This is Shepherd Rams Football on TV 10.
Life is evolving. Over the past decade, the way we do almost everything has changed. Get on your phone, see something you like, click on it, and it shows up at your door. Why should the way you have your car serviced be any different? Why waste your time going to a dealership service department when Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet will come to you? They service all makes, all models, and offer full parts and labor warranties. Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet will come to your door or office and service your vehicle while you're doing what you need to be doing, conducting that business meeting or mowing the lawn. Why take time out of your busy schedule when you don't have to? Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet's friendly, knowledgeable staff will come to you where you live or where you work for full service maintenance, from oil changes to tire rotations, brakes, batteries, multi-point inspections. They handle it all. Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet is committed to delivering the best of the best to their customers. Trust them to service your vehicle where you're at home or at work. Skip the time-consuming and terminal wait at the dealership. Schedule your appointment at FordofHagerstown.com or HancockChevy.com.
During the 2-minute timeout, so we did miss the punt, unfortunately, but the good thing is there was nothing on the punt, really. So, solid punt, puts it at the 23-yard line, and here you go, Travis. I mean, Shepherd up by 3. Can they get the stop. We've talked about the defense coming through so many times for this team throughout the season. The Seton Hill offense, it's not a pass-first offense, so the advantage appears to be on Shepherd's side, but you got to watch out for Phillips and some of these big playmakers on the outside. Here's pass completed. Again, it's Brody Carroll making the tackle, trying to get it to Craggett, but Carroll's been all over the field today. He's played great.
And Craggett that time, it was just a weird angle that he got the ball, really didn't have an opportunity to do anything with it after the catch, and Carroll was right on top of it.
Just a 2-yard gain. Cruz over the middle, complete.
Good ball.
First down, sliding catch. Again, it's Rubrick.
And again, the matchup to see is going to be, they got Harrison on Phillips. That's probably going to be about the best matchup that Shepherd has for him, and Harrison's giving him a lot of respect, a lot of room, and that's a wise decision.
1:18 left. Cruz throws. Phillips wide open. First down. Dante Harrison gave him too much room there. First down into Shepherd territory to the 46-yard line.
And it's just difficult. What are you going to do? Because if you play up, he's going to burn your eyes out. You play off. He's smart enough to recognize that and catch a pass underneath. So it's going to be
of
tough.
Time for Seton Hill on their senior day, trying to come back and beat the Rams to end the season. Shepherd trying to avoid that losing season that we talked about earlier. Play action pass. Cruz under some trouble. Kawoka providing the pressure. He'll just throw it away.
Here we go. And that time, that Shepherd defense, they were blowing up the A-gaps on that play, sending both linebackers right up the middle and got Cruz out of there. If you're able to get him on the move, get him off of his platform, you know, he's not a terribly accurate passer, but when you're making him move around and he starts looking at the rush, it's really in favor of the defense when they do that. So I think it's something where Shepherd may not just be able to sit back and play coverage. It's something where they're going to have to dial up some blitzes and really make Cruz make a fast decision and throw an accurate pass.
2nd and 10 from the 46. Cruz with just a 3-man rush, but he's still under pressure and he's still going to be sacked. Jack Brutus is having a huge day. We talked about not saying his name a whole lot. It's like he heard us.
Yeah. He just this basically just swats him in the chest and he goes down.
Again, Shepherd trying to avoid that first losing season since 2003 when the Rams finished 4-6. 13-10 here in favor of Shepherd. It's a 3rd and 15 from the 49. Cruz looking deep down the field into double coverage. Oh, Greer tipped it, and Phillips nearly ran underneath it. That would have been insane.
I think you're pretty much going to have to do the same thing if you're Seton Hill.
I mean, it's 4th
on this
and 15.
play. You're going to have to take a shot. So, and
Phillips is a good guy to try, but Shepherd's going to double cover him. So, I mean, can somebody else maybe step up here for Seton Hill?
That'll be the question.
Phillips is going to.
Also, they're going to stick him in the slot. Okay, puts a little bit more pressure on the safety, but they do have Dante Harrison playing the middle of the field.
And
okay,
Shepherd burns a timeout.
Yeah, they want another look at that. When you put Phillips, a wide receiver of that quality, in the slot, you got to make some decisions on how you're going to take care of that because you don't want him getting matched up one-on-one with a safety down the middle of the field.
For sure. 26 seconds left. Travis will just keep it here so we don't miss anything since they moved the 2-minute timeout pretty quickly. You definitely don't want to miss.
Everybody's feeling the excitement, even the refs. They're keeping it moving.
26 seconds left. 49-yard line.
I think they got to send somebody. I don't think you can afford to sit back in coverage and let him run around and take a shot downfield. I think you have to send somebody, speed up his decision-making process, and make him throw an accurate ball in the face of a blitz.
Did you get that? Because we're right next to the Shepherd coaching staff.
I did. It's about using all the resources that you have around you.
You're honest. You could have just said, I just knew.
I could feel it.
Something was telling me. A little birdie. 13-10. Shepherd leads Seton Hill. Rams obviously in kind of a prevent look since you don't want anything over the top here. Cruz under some heat, and he's brought down in the backfield, and the Rams get the stop, and they're going to get the win. It's JT Kamayow with the sack. Shepherd defense delivers to finish out the season 6-5.
That last drive, that defensive line, they took over. Cuoco's been playing his butt off all game today. JT coming out, you know what he brings. Jack Brutus had a whale of a game today. Again, that defensive line really stepped up and showed out here to close this game down for the Shepherd Rams, making sure that this ball club is going to be in a position to close out the season on the winning side of things.
Cruz throws his helmet into the stands. So.
There's a souvenir for a lucky fan.
A lot of helmet throwing. We need to take care of that at Seton Hill. You can't be throwing your helmet into the stands. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's just football at the end of the day. I know it stinks to lose, but you can't you could really injure somebody there. So, Ezra Bajan takes the knee, though, and the Rams get the win. 13-10 over Seton Hill. Shepherd wins the football game on the road. They finished the year 6-5. Obviously, this wasn't the season you wanted, Travis, if you're Shepherd. You went through the grind. You had some
bumps along the way.
Bumps for sure throughout the year. You know, things didn't go your way. But you finish the year 6-5. You get the win. And overall, it was a good way to end the season for Shepherd, and they can build some momentum heading into next year. It's a pretty young team, too. The Rams will have a lot coming back. So that's another positive.
And, again, you don't know what the transfer portal is going to take away from you. You don't know what it's going to bring back to you. So there's still a lot of questions. But, again, going into the offseason with the win, it always makes that season a little bit more palatable regardless of your record. And what you can appreciate is that you go on the road in a hostile environment against a team that is very motivated to get a win themselves, and you're able to overcome adversity once again and pull out a tough win on the road. So a lot of things that the Shepherd coaching staff and those returning players can look to and really see the silver lining in that cloud. So Shepherd, again, able to go out, send these seniors out with their heads held high. And then the young quarterback, Ezra Bajan, able to come and navigate the ship safely into a win here on the road again. A lot of adversity, but, again, the Rams able to answer that challenge and come away with a big win on the road.
Yeah. Good win for Shepherd, 13-10 to beat Seton Hill today. The Rams will finish the year again 6-5. Seton Hill will finish at 3-8. So that will do it here for the game. We will take a break, and on the other side of that break, we'll have the post-game show. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10.
Have you been smoking? I can smell it. Hickory.
I'm going to watch you smoke the whole pack. Shop now and save at Orsini's today.
Have you been smoking? I can smell it. Hickory.
I'm going to watch you smoke the whole pack. Shop now and save at Orsini's today.
After a car accident, what do you get when you call Mansion Ferretti?
You get more experience from a local law firm with over 115 years of combined service.
More respect from a team who treats clients like their own family.
And more fight, because we want you to get every dollar you deserve.
Experience, respect, results. If you've been injured, that's what you want in your lawyer.
And that's what you'll get when you call us. Car accident? Get more with Mansion Ferretti. 304-264-8505.
The thing I'm most passionate about with my clients is that 95% of them that come to me, they've never been in trouble in their lives. They've got careers, promising futures, things that matter.
So thankfully, after it was all said and done, I had no DUI and I had no more stress facing me or my family.
When you're on the fence whether to hire a DUI attorney, I always say that you really cannot afford not to. My name is Harley Wagner. My law practice has been exclusively focused on driving under the influence cases throughout the state of West Virginia.
It's the Postgame Show, as we recap the scoring, bring you stats and analysis, scores from around the PSAC and Super Region 1, the Division 1 Top 25, and the latest on the West Virginia University Mountaineers and Marshall University Thundering Herd. Let's get it started as we go back to the field and rejoin our TV10 broadcast team.
Here to Greensburg, Pennsylvania. We'll quickly get into our post-game show and wrap things up here as Shepherd gets the win in the final game of the regular season. The Rams are 6-5 to end the year. Post-game show brought to you by the Palace Lounge on Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg with a full lunch and dinner menu with daily specials and a clean, comfortable atmosphere. Check out the menu on the Palace Lounge Facebook page. Once again, your final score. Shepherd wins it 13-10 over Seton Hill. We will get into your post-game stats here, which are brought to you by RAI Properties LLC, servicing the tri-state area. Call 304-200-3144. Visit www.raiproperties.com. Trying to get the stats to load. There they are. So we'll get into our stats here again for Shepherd. It ends up being a two-quarterback performance. Like Powell in the first half had the 66 yards. Ezra Bajan in the second half goes 5 of 7, 54 yards. But really becomes about the Shepherd running game throughout this game as they were able to establish a run. 19 carries for Malachi Brown, 86 net yards on the day. Jordan Barnett, 12 carries for 79 yards. A lot of that coming in the second half. Surprisingly today, Travis, Grant Swinehart finishes the game with 3 carries, but just 1 yard. A lot of his touches were receptions, I would suppose. He did have 2 catches for 29 yards, so there you go. But it felt like he was more involved, but maybe it was more so just blocks and stuff like that.
It was blocking. They used a lot of 2 running back sets today, so he was out there a lot, like you said, able to make some big catches out of the backfield.
Yeah, but anyway, Malachi Brown leads the team in receiving. Overall, pretty good day for Malachi. 6 catches, 82 yards out of the backfield. Barry Hill, 2 catches, 4 yards, and that touchdown for Shepherd here today as well. Defensively, though, that's where the Rams really got after it, you could say, as they total 5 sacks as a defense. Brody Carroll leads the team in tackles with 9 tackles, but JT Comayal today, 8 tackles, 2 sacks, 3.5 tackles for a loss. Very good game for him. G.O.D. Tolbert gets the interception as well as 8 tackles, and Miles Greer with a big hit leading to that interception. He totals 8 tackles as well as Shepherd again got after it. 1.5 tackles for a loss for Greer as well. You look at the Seton Hill numbers. Craggett, 17 carries for 85 yards and a score. Jason Williams, 9 carries for 27 yards for the running game. Jake Cruz finishes 15 of 25, 150 yards and an interception. Rubrick leads the team in receiving yards, 4 catches, 41 yards. Craggett, 4 catches, 21 yards. Phelps, 3 catches, 46 yards. Good job against him. Isaac Ashley with 2 catches for 10 yards. The punters both had over 200 yards punting. It was a defensive game. 2 inside the 20 punts for each punter as well. I feel like that was kind of necessary because the field position was, usually I don't mention the punting stats, but the field position played a big factor today. And then finally, the defensive leaders for them, Boone with 11, 0 of 10, McCormick with 8, Posey with 6. The Shepherd gets the win 13-10. Taking the lead in that third quarter on the Keith Baker 25-yard field goal. Overall solid day for Baker. He makes 2 of his 3 attempts from 25 and 28. Shepherd gets the win. Travis 6-5 season for the Rams, and we will get into now our post-game awards. Start the electrifying play of the game brought to you by CMA's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Martinsburg. Stop in and see them today at 48 Kelly Island Road, Martinsburg, or call 304-263-8821. Proud to be the owners who just care more.
Well, for my play of the game, it could have ended up in a couple of different categories, but I chose it as the play of the game because it kind of sealed the deal today. Miles Greer laying the big hit on the wide receiver that creates the interception that Gio DeTolbert was able to bring in. So my play of the game, Miles Greer, big hit, interception, Gio DeTolbert, seal the win for Shepherd. So there you go.
Fair enough. Collision of the game brought to you by Cody's Autobahn at 8851 Wilson Street, Martinsburg, family owned, offering superior customer service and great pricing for a job done by experienced, certified technicians. Call 304-901-4777 or visit their Facebook page.
Man, oh man, I don't know who our sponsor is for a collision of the game, but it should be brought to us by 84 Lumber, the way they were bringing the wood out there today. It was so many collisions of the game. But my one collision of the game, I got to give it to Jack Brutus, the smackdown that he laid on the running back, Jason Williams. Jason Williams is a load. They got him listed at 5'8", 210. I'm thinking he's pushing that closer to 220. It did not matter. Jack Brutus stopped him in his tracks. Late hit. Well, a good hit late in the game in the fourth quarter. Jack Brutus gets my collision of the game versus the Seton Hill running back.
Fair. There was a lot of them today, though. Yeah. Finally, Travis, your player of the game, which is brought to you by CMA's Martinsburg and Winchester dealerships, proud to be the owners who just care more.
All right, play of the game, I got to give it to a group. Sometimes I have to give it to a group. In today's game, I got to give it to that defensive line for Shepherd. They played an outstanding ball game today. They were able to make some big plays down the stretch, and no bigger play than Jack Brutus getting that sack late in the game. Again, we talked about he got the collision of the game, but that he kind of led the charge of that defensive line. But that entire defensive line, they played their butts off all day today. So my play of the game, Shepherd Rams defensive line, hats off to them.
Yeah, JT Komayao with that sack there at the end as well to seal the deal for Shepherd. So overall, I mean, this defense is really, really good, and I think that's the summary of the season. I mean, Coach McCook said it best. He said it's one of the best defenses that Shepherd's had.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, their offense couldn't really pick it up too much this season. So.
And like you look back in years past, it's like they had talented players or outstanding individual players, but they gave up a lot of points, and as a unit, not as good as you would hope. But this year, really not having those big-name outstanding players, but as a unit, man, oh man, they played so good together and played really tough and really just set the tone for this Rams team throughout the course of the year, and that's something that you're certainly going to look to next year with a lot of those returners coming back. Probably going to be the strength of that roster coming into next year. That is just a talented defensive group that just plays well together as a unit.
So I think it's appropriate that they get the players of the game here today as a defensive unit. But finally, Travis, just any final thoughts on the season?
Just a tough year, and sometimes the ball's not going to bounce your way. The injuries are not going to go your way. The tip balls are not going to go your way. And that was just something that was just a challenging uphill battle all year long for Shepherd. But as you can tell, they end the season with a win, so they were able to weather that adversity and end the year on a positive note, and you hope that can springboard them into a productive all season. Still having some questions to answer on the offensive side of the ball, just trying to get that spark back. That was something that we were waiting on all year long. They had moments, they had flashes, but it was nothing sustained. They just need that spark on the offensive side of the ball, because over the years, Shepherd, we know that they've had a winning program over the years, and a lot of times it's been led by a powerful offensive attack that can put points on the board, and that's come in a variety of ways. Either it's come from having outstanding quarterback play, or just having a tremendous running game by the talented running backs that have come through this program. So again, it's going to be important for Shepherd to go into this offseason looking to establish an offensive identity, and most important, get that spark back on the offensive side of the ball.
For sure, but Shepherd gets the win to end this season, 6-5, 13-10 is your final score. For Colin McLaughlin, Travis Smith, Dylan Bishop, I'm Nick Verzolini signing off for the final time this season. Once again, your final score, Shepherd 13, Seton Hill 10. Have a good rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next season for more Shepherd Rams football on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Life is evolving. Over the past decade, the way we do almost everything has changed. Get on your phone, see something you like, click on it, and it shows up at your door. Why should the way you have your car serviced be any different? Why waste your time going to a dealership service department when Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet will come to you? They service all makes, all models, and offer full parts and labor warranties. Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet will come to your door or office and service your vehicle while you're doing what you need to be doing, conducting that business meeting or mowing the lawn. Why take time out of your busy schedule when you don't have to? Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet's friendly, knowledgeable staff will come to you where you live or where you work for full service maintenance, from oil changes to tire rotations, brakes, batteries, multi-point inspections. They handle it all. Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet is committed to delivering the best of the best to their customers. Trust them to service your vehicle where you're at home or at work. Skip the time-consuming and terminal wait at the dealership. Schedule your appointment at fordofhagerstown.com or hancockchevy.com.
Hey, it's Cody with Cody's Auto Body. No Shave November? What the hell is that? When men were men, shaving was only done for very special occasions, and most of those were under protest. The only thing that should be wax smooth in a man's possession better have an engine attached. If you want to keep that ride looking fresh, come see me, and I can knock a few years off. As for your face, you're on your own. I'm Cody with Cody's Auto Body. That's Cody's with a T for trust.
One of the questions lawyers get asked the most is, what is my case worth?
I'm Steven Skinner, and this is my brother Andrew with Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers.
The truth is, it's very difficult for a lawyer to pinpoint a number because every case is different.
We get to know each situation and we'll give you an idea of what your case is worth and why.
The sooner we get involved, the better we can do getting you the compensation you deserve.
Google Skinner Lawyers or go to skinnerwins.com. We'll treat you like family.
Welcome into the studio. I'm Colin McLaughlin here for TV10 WRNR TV on YouTube with the post-game scoreboard show as the Shepherd Rams are victorious in the final game of the year at Seton Hill by a final score of 13-10. So the Rams finish with a 6-5 record, snap the losing streak, and avoid a losing season for the first time in a long time. So that streak still stays alive in this unusual season, though, for Shepherd. Let's now take a look at around the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference, and we'll start off with the conference championship game. It's a final score of 21-14. Third-ranked Kutztown defeats number 17 Cal U to take home the conference championship once again. Final score as well, it's East Stroudsburg avoiding the upset by Clarion. Final score 22-19, a very close ball game in that one. East Stroudsburg was able to score in that fourth quarter about midway through and hang on to get the victory to improve to, I believe, 10-1 to finish the year for them. Final score, it was Lockhaven getting a road win, 21-13 at Gannon. With 4:19 left in the fourth quarter, Edinburgh has come back here in the fourth. They now lead Millersville 21-20. Millersville still trying to get that first and what would be only win of the year, with it being the final game of the season. Right now, they trail Edinburgh by 1. 9:12 left in the third quarter. It is a 20-7 score now for Slippery Rock as they've added on to the lead with a field goal just a few moments ago. And lastly, with 12:21 remaining in the second, it is IUP leading Shippensburg 14-0. Gonna look different here on our scoreboard for those looking at the screen. There's some updated scores now. It's still Ohio State 31-7 against Northwestern, Texas 20-10 against Arkansas. An updated one is number 17 Colorado has scored to extend the lead against Utah now to 35-16. So it looks like the Buffalo's going to keep control of their destiny, trying to get to the Big 12 championship game in a few weeks, which would be against BYU if things stand as they are. It's number 20 Clemson leading Pitt 17-7, and Tulane dominating Navy. That is now a 35-0 game, and one in the second quarter that isn't shown on the screen. It's number 10 Alabama playing Mercer. That is a 21-0 Bama lead. That'll wrap things up again for the season. Shepherd finishes 6-5, getting a 13-10 win this afternoon at Seton Hill. Hope you enjoyed our coverage of Shepherd Ram football this year. Back next year on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube with more Ram football. Enjoy the off season. You've been watching coverage of NCAA Division II football featuring the Shepherd Rams in the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. Today's coverage is brought to you by
Orsini's Home Store, Century 21 Modern Realty Results, Cody's Auto Body, The Palace Lounge, CMA Honda, the Berkeley County Health Department, Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers, Brown's Funeral Home and Cremations, Hagerstown Ford, the Mansion Ferretti Law Firm, the Mirius Group of Financial Advisors, Bodwell Insurance Solutions, W. Harley Miller Systems, Smallwood and Small Insurance Agency, CMA Chrysler Dodge, WVU East, the law firm of Burke Schultz Harmon and Jenkinson, RAI Properties, Parsons Ford, Rocks, John Hardy, Gary Kelly Allstate, and Panhandle Dumpsters.
TV 10 Sports thanks you for watching today's game. All rights reserved.